specific. No, he said y'all follow us on the stuff like that, right?
Stuff like
y'all
stuff like what?
Well, he's using an example. You have to use an example to bring home your point.
He was specific in his point. What point did he make?
You was already shaking your head before he made his point. That's what I'm trying to tell you. When he said that, you was already shaking your head.
No, I shake my head like this because he said.
Why didn't you record this?
Yeah, you recorded it. Because we follow the man. So if I know it hurt, with HAMP said X to you, which he said was broke. If he says you're broke to another man and they get offended, be ready to, and it hurts them, I'm gonna want to hurt you next time. I'm gonna sit there and say the same exact thing. So I said yes to that.
No, you was already saying yes when he first started when he first said it. You didn't go off his example.
That's not true. Only other thing I said yes to.
I wish you would have recorded it.
He sat there and said it goes across men and women. The Sharpen or shaming can go across both. So I was like, yeah, it can. That's how I was shaking my head to initially. Okay. And then he talked about following, about saying y'all broke. And I'm sitting there and I'm going to do the same exact thing and say the same exact thing. So those are the specific points he made that I agreed to. That my yes, and I mean a blanket yes, anything that Hampton says.
Yo.
Ever.
You just going, bro. Who
no, you? I'm not answering this. No, but don't mischaracterize what I said or what I agreed to. That's the only thing I
do. Oh, like who you fighting? Like,
you're so stupid. Like, ain't nobody windmilling. He mischaracterized what I said and I corrected him. Ta-da.
He said you agreed at first. That's literally what he said. You agreed at first.
Before you even said what you said, I agreed to, and I said that's not true.
So why did you was okay with that first example that he gave, but then when he gave the example by rap, you say no, you can't just give me an example of that's what you said.
Because that's not true. Because that wasn't true. Like, are you lost? I'm not even being funny right now, but are you lost right now in this conversation?
No, I'm listening. I'm just trying to figure out.
Because I told you what I agreed to. And now you're trying to sit there and take it to a further conversation after that. I'm telling you what I agreed to, and I specifically said what he said, what I agreed to, and that was it.
The conversation, the whole.
And then he asked the question, bro. Then he asked a question and said, "What do women originate?" And then he sat there and did a leading statement after that. Come on now, I took my.
All of that was the same conversation. He just asked you. He just asked you what you originate.
So I remember what was stated. Now catch me in an hour; they might not be working, but they on fire right now. And I'm not even being funny. I know you're not. Are we on right now? Ham, I'm gonna be.
Oh,
like you said 302 me.
I'm just trying to figure out, like, you gonna let somebody else talk?
When they say something that makes sense, sure. All right, let me go on mute. Mm-mm.
All he said,
Strata, I was gonna be zen tonight. Strata, you saw how it started.
Oh, hey, you're not zen. You a latchkey kid. You ain't zen. Come on, man. Let's not do this. You've been cooking and washing clothes since 9 years old. Come on, like,
that's 8 years old.
Man, oh man, UT, man, you see, yo. And then here's the thing, right? They always try to make it seem like UT the bad guy. She started with him. You know what I'm saying?
Shit like that.
I'm not agreeing to this. You see that, UT? I'm shaking my head. No, I don't agree with that. See that? To that statement, I'm saying no to.
That you didn't start with me? That's what you're saying? Well, you're being a liar then. If you say that, that's what you did.
You started with UT. UT was chilling. You know what I mean? He wasn't bothering nobody. He added one sentence.
He don't know how to chill. He don't know how to chill. Talking like he was chilling.
No. So keep getting darker and darker in that room you in. You just woke up. Why he doing light skin eyes? What is going on with Sean? Can he hear us?
I don't know.
Hey, my bad. I was squinting, looking at the screen. I'm multitasking. My bad. Clearly, I need to pull my glasses out. Damn.
You know what I mean?
What's happening?
Damn, man. Let's do it, man. Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend, hit that like button right now if you can. That helps the channel. The multi-hamp stampede in the building. We got the legendary Love in the building. What's popping?
What up, y'all? Happy Wednesday. I'm gonna change my name to Zen.
Zen?
Z-E-N.
Let me ask you a question. Keep it tall, okay?
Okay, go ahead.
Are there more clips of you or being a street nigga? What would you think? Like, what you think they think?
If the whole clip was played, the beginning and then the cause and the effect, yeah.
Oh, you never started it.
Never, ever start just fighting and windmilling. No, come on now. No, never.
Okay.
Never.
Stop the cap.
Okay.
I'm being serious.
Dude,
I'm happy
man.
to be here. Hey, y'all.
Yo, man, on Friday when we get to DC, it's lit. Got Love in the building with her arch nemesis.
Brother.
Which one, child? I guess. Which one?
This one.
Brother. Shit like that. Shit like fucking perfect.
I don't think you ever beat Miss Fantastic one-on-one. I ain't gonna lie.
I mean, I don't fight. I don't fight. And what he does, he overtalks a lot. And so what I don't do, I'm not doing screaming matches. And you'll see it in Atlanta, that show, he sat there overtalking. I sat there, I was like, you got it. If you have to overtalk and scream and not have an actual conversation, I'm not doing this. That's the Zen part of me. That's the love part of me. I don't fight. I don't go back and forth hollering. Save my voice for who want to hear what I got to say.
Are you being serious?
Hey, Cheeky, say your mic ain't working right.
Yeah.
Oh, my mic's not working?
Nah, Hamp.
Test. I'm good now? Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds way cleaner.
Yeah. You're not being serious, are you, Asia?
Honestly, I am. Yeah. I'm not screaming and hollering. I hate that.
You treated Big Al like shit. You remember that?
And what did Big Al do first?
Hit the link.
No. I forgot the concept. He hit the link, came up, he started talking crazy, then called us a bunch of bitchs. Oh, we're gonna scratch your eyeballs out, or we're gonna eat you alive and then throw your carcass away for everybody to see. And that's what happened.
That's how you remember it?
Yes. He came up there, wow. Oh my God, he came up there wilding. Come on now, play the clip. All the whole clip. Don't do it. We sit back there and scratch his eyeballs out. Big Al came up there talking real reckless. Those are the good old days. We used to have fun at POV.
Shit like that.
Strada was goody.
Perfect.
Good. How you, brother?
I'm good, man. Look, even Mr. Williams said it, B. Yo, man, my brother Strada in the building. Salute, man. DC, here we come. Strada, where can they find you at, Playboy?
SPS Podcast. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe.
Shit like that. Perfect.
Empress in here putting work, of course. I like it, man. You know what I mean? Salute, man. Make sure y'all go like, share, and subscribe to my brother Strada and the what's the name? What's the thing y'all say? The Raw Bunch. The Raw Bunch. You know what I mean? UT was goody.
Perfect.
What up, everybody? What's going on? Yep, I'm good, man.
You all right? I know Love been picking at you since you hit the link. I like how you being very how you say demure. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you know, I figured out about Love. Love, she really loved me. That's why she do that. So I don't get mad at her no more like I used to. I don't figure that out now.
Perfect. Perfect.
Shot, what up?
Here, man. I told you these 2 days right now, getting up at 6 a.m., getting these workout in. I got another workout at night, so your boy, I'm hanging on by 3, but I'm here, man, ready to rock out.
What's up,
Shit
man?
like that.
You
Shit
know
like
what I
that.
mean? We grinding.
Perfect.
July 21st, man. We premiering the short film, right?
Shout out to him for pulling up to the city. I'm gonna make sure my boy have a good time. He good when he with me.
That's
we're gonna have a good time in Jackson for a day or two. But definitely screening my first short film, A New Dad. I'm super excited to be showing in my hometown. I got a lot of people from the crib showing up to support. So I mean, it's gonna be a good time.
Yeah, no doubt, man. I posted it on my Instagram. I know Empress gonna look. Empress is the best moderator, bro. Make sure I go follow, man. I'm telling you, man.
You put one bid in real quick, man. As a creator, I just love creating. What I do struggle with is marketing myself, promoting myself. So if anybody in the audience is good with promotion, particularly for creatives, shoot me a DM, man. I need your services. Because I just like to write and keep my head down. The promotion part is not my strong suit. So I'm looking for you if you can help me out.
Yeah, no, that's real.
Shit like that.
That's real, bro. You know, and a lot of people, it be backwards for them. They can market and then the product ain't shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Nah, real shit though. I don't know. I think I actually have a couple too. Okay. You know, but either way, man, it's organic. And when it hit, it hit. You know what I'm saying? Yep. You know? It's gonna be, you're gonna miss me when I'm going type of situations. I remember when Shy used to hang out with us. Now you hanging out with Ryan Coogler.
One thing about me, I show love to people that show me, man. That's just a part. It's like that's a part of me. So no, yeah. You can't.
Nah, and it's not you. It's just a matter of like just the set and settings start to change, right? You got obligations and shit like that.
Shit like that.
You know what I mean? So I ain't gonna be mad. Hey, we ain't seen Sean in a minute. That nigga in Hollywood somewhere, man. I just check on the nigga, make sure he ain't doing Hollywood shit.
Wow.
No Diddy party. Shout out to Sean though. I'm cool on the Diddy party.
Indeed, man. August, what's popping?
Whoa, what's down?
What's goody?
Man, cooling, bro. Cooling.
Where can they find you at, Playboy?
Right here on good old YouTube, baby. August More Reacts. Y'all check me out. I drop 2 videos pretty much every day, so y'all tap in with it.
That's what's up, man.
Shit like that.
Yeah, man. And I ain't gonna lie, the pre-record allow you to obviously perfect it, but it's more work. Like the live streaming is difficult, but in a different way. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
everyone presented challenges.
Indeed. Like if I do a monologue, right, like on Fridays, at least I could go back and forth with people in the chat. You know what I mean? So it kind of adds to your, you know, people give you ideas. I went to a show. It was Tonight's Conversation. I got a couple tickets, so we went, me and my wife, and you know, a very substantive and instrumental part of the show is the questions from the audience. You know, like that, those questions probably garnered the most engagement. You know, and without those questions, it would have had a different motive. You know what I mean? Different vibration for sure. So it's something to that. You know what I'm saying? Like the question is the work. You know, and people gonna talk their shit if you got the right personality. So yeah, man, that's what's up, man. We grinding, man. Make sure y'all go like, share, and subscribe. There's 130 people here right now, man. Should be 130 people subscribing and following. You know what I'm saying? You ain't doing much. You know, a lot of us don't even use social media all crazy. We usually scroll and double tap, pause. You know what I'm saying? So what's wrong with adding 1 more or 2 more? You feel me? Sean, what up, though?
And look, man, just glad I got some, man, we got some intellectuals up here today, man. Agree or disagree, man. I don't see anybody from short bus shorty gang. You know what I'm saying?
Jesus Christ.
You know what I'm saying? Are the kids in bed or they playing in the sandbox? I don't know. On their third recess for the day, I don't know, bro. You know what I'm saying? Hey, don't swallow the Legos. Don't do it.
Shit like that. Shit like that.
God damn, son. That's what's up, man. Sean, what's up, man? How the website? What we looking like?
It's almost that, man. I've been so busy.
It's almost there.
Oh no, not that. They can't follow me on YouTube though. So
Empress will find it real quick. So we're gonna replace this one with the Sean Antonio Experience on YouTube. Empress. I know Empress will find it pretty quick, and then we'll rotate that one. You know what I'm saying? Throughout the evening, man. So yeah, man, let's get it, man. Yeah, so because my boy Arnold, he had an obligation and shit. So I was like, okay, who do I want to? So I said, let me see how we can frame the conversation. Depending on the voices, right? And also, right, we have, three more spots? But I kind of kept it a little bit smaller purposely, right? There's one lady also, she said she's supposed to come. She was on the show, the POV, a couple weeks ago. She new to YouTube. So that perspective is interesting too. Like, she don't even watch YouTube for real. Like how Asian then was when they first came, they was so taken aback. Like, I remember the first time Tommy hit the link, right? The audience was going, I'm exaggerating, but going crazy. Tommy, they sending like super chats so he can't get kicked off. Asia, Dana, Sis, like, who the fuck is this? Like, they just looking like like they didn't know at all. Like, and so they perspective, like Sis, how Sis is, she unmute finally. Shut up. Like, that's how Sis be talking. So that shit was crazy, bro. So nah, man. So we'll see. But like, share, subscribe, tell a friend, man. Hit that like button right now if you can. That helps the channel the most. Please go support each other, man. You didn't ask me. You didn't ask me about my YouTube. I got YouTube too. You do? Yeah. Damn, my bad. UT. Where can they find you at, Playboy? It's on Unpopular Truth. It's just my page on here on YouTube. I really don't know what. Yeah, you don't ask for a promotion. You it's Unpopular Truth. Well, you didn't ask me. You skipped me. You skipped all around me, so I didn't know. I thought it was good. UT, where can they find you at, Playboy? Perfect. Unpopular Truth. That's what it is on YouTube.
Put him in the fucking bedroom. Get him out of here. Come on.
Christ, nigga, you and Shy need a marketer.
For sure.
Yo, how he gonna get on my case, Shy, and then talk about Unpopular Truth on YouTube? How am I supposed to say it? I'm supposed to get up and dance or some shit? That might work. Know what I'm saying? This nigga CJ sent a video doing the light skin face. And then Sean sent 2 light skin face videos. He said CJ ain't do it right. I said, these niggas is crazy, son. What's happening with y'all too? Cause y'all just oh, you gotta come in the Discord, man. Wow. You know what I'm saying? Damn, man. So Asia, what's up, man? You all right?
I'm cool. What's up?
You hanging in there?
Yeah.
Let me pose this question, man.
You know my motto, right?
No, what's your motto?
Sure, I know it. I'm here for a good time, not a long time.
Nigga, please.
Good.
So here's the first thing I want to present, man. Hold on, let me type it. I thought I typed it. Make sure I hit the like button. Let me see you in the chat real quick. All right, like, share, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend, man. Let me see you in the chat real quick and we get it popping. James, what up? Jalen, what up? CJ, what's popping? Impress in a building. Salute, man. Hit the like button. What you about to say? What are you about to say? Mel, you already know. My brother Gilded Quan in the building, man. DC, stand up, man. Salute. Sherelle was goody. Why they keep saying Shy? He tired. That's all it is. It was good, my boy. Zeke, Shalom, Ox. Salute to Zeke in the building. What up, Salute to my brother Ezekiel Ben Israel in the building who gifted one. This might be risky membership, man. Whoever got blessed with it, please maintain it. Mr. Williams was shaking. The second I see you, man. Hope all is well, man. DC, stand up. Homeboy, Shalawam. Leon was goody. Mahogany in the building. My brother Bino was popping. Salute to SPS in the building. Aaron putting in work. That's always a blessing. Miss Bells, of course. I like it, man. Hit the like button. Hit the like button. Hit the like button. Marcus, salute. Black America, man. What you talking about? Hakeem with the $5 shot. Do me a favor and finish my sentence for me. Money, hoes, cars, and clothes.
That's how my partners roll.
Why he wanted you to?
No idea. I don't know.
Keeps it 100. What up, though? Son, kid, Shalom was goody. I ain't seen you in a minute. Melly Mel was popping. Fish in the fit, of course. Face became a member. Salute to Mac Delts in the building. What's popping, man? I ain't seen you in a minute. Salute to Mac Delts and Face for becoming a member, man. Appreciate y'all, brothers. Welcome to the family. Appreciate the renewal, man. Oh, Shay, what up? Like Mike in the building, man. Let's get it, man. Like, share, subscribe. They echoing. I probably got it up too loud and shit. Man, this roadcaster ain't roadcasting, nigga. That's for damn sure, bro. Orchid was goody. I'm about to go back to the focus right, man. For sure, man. American Negro was popping, man. Let's get it, man. So this always pops up, man. Let me know what y'all think about this as we talking about sharpen me or shame me. The agenda behind the critique of black women. This always happens, right? And my phrasing maybe is not perfect. But if the ladies agree with you, you know you saying something wrong. If the ladies agree with you, you off point. If the ladies agree with you, it's a problem. If the ladies agree with you, it's a red flag. If the ladies agree with you, you pandering. If the ladies agree with you, you simping. Have y'all heard that shit or what? Now, August, when I was saying it, you were saying, yes, that's correct.
I haven't heard you tell a lie yet.
Wow.
All facts.
Go ahead, August. What you mean?
Because you already know they don't want to hear the truth. They don't want to hear the truth. They want you to lie to them. That's just is what it is. It's a feelings based thing. You know, we know how it go.
Damn. So they often, when things seem sweet to them, that's when they start agreeing.
Yes.
The things. If they don't, go ahead.
It don't matter if it doesn't matter if it's factual. It don't matter if it's true, as long as it sound good. That's what it is. It's feelings over facts with the ladies. It's always been like that.
Damn. So if it has accountability in it, right? Is that the things that you see get rejected?
Yeah. Yeah, largely.
Man.
Largely. It's taken as an attack. If you criticize, it's taken as an attack. And what they do is they'll say it's not how what you're saying is how you're saying it. And you can say it in the most pleasant tone. You can say it in any way possible, but it's the critique that they don't like.
UT nodding.
It's the audacity that you even said something to them.
Preach.
You said something to me? I can't believe it.
Wayne, mother god of the universe? Oh, hell nah, nigga.
Now, what is the range though? Because you got like, what's the big diesel nigga that used to be popular?
Derrick Jackson.
Yeah. So you got that. That would be like the extreme, right? Or the furthest point, you know? But is there how you say, what's the word I'm looking for? Like levels to it?
I think in the YouTube space, it's either you are or you not, because a lot of guys know that there's a lot of money in line to women. Ultimately, it's a lot of you get popping real fast. They'll support that 1,000%. But just in like the regular space and everyday world, I think, you know, men lie to women to get what they want out of a woman, and that's as far as it really goes.
So what's the difference, right? I would argue. I made this video. A pander is the most dangerous man to a woman. What you think?
Absolutely. He the one that'll beat your ass.
Well, I didn't say that on the video, but I was just saying. Okay,
it's true. I'm telling you, he the emotional guy. He's the one that would sit here and tell you everything you want to hear, and he's the one that'll put hands on you. He the most dangerous one for sure.
Damn,
a wolf in sheep's clothing. That's what he is.
Because he already lying. He already lying from the get-go, so he don't care about lying. So that's just like when you brought up Derrick Jackson. He was the one that's saying everything, and he was that guy. Everything that he was telling, he was actually that guy.
Yes. I'm gonna tell you the man that tell you the truth, the one that get out here and tell you the truth, that's the one that actually love you because he know how you gonna respond. He know you're not gonna accept that shit. He know it, but he gonna tell you anyway.
I agree with that. I definitely agree with that. I definitely agree that a man tell you the truth, that means he loves you. The question / statement that I have though, because you brought up Derrick Jackson, only because you brought him up. So because even though what he was saying to him about basically women's empowerment, like don't let this man play in your face. And I wasn't a big follower of his, but I believe, it was like, don't let these men play in your face. He's lying to you if he does X, Y, and Z. You deserve to be heard. You deserve like that kind of thing, right? Those things, those statements that he made, they were true, but because they were true, and that women should, be respected and heard and whatnot, even though he's a piece of crap for cheating on his wife. So does that negate what he said, even though he was speaking truth?
That's not all he said. That's not he said that, but his context threw it all off. Everything that he said after he said that threw it all off. Like, yes, love deserves to be heard, but it ain't all the man's fault that you're not being heard all the time. You might be aggravating. You might have an attitude all the time. He's not putting that in there. He's just saying you should be heard.
Say those things you're saying.
Yeah, he didn't say that.
Totally different. Okay. Yeah, and so but so to answer my question, you're saying he wasn't saying the right things. Or he was. My point is, he's saying the right things, and we should be respected, and we should not take abuse, and we should have required consistency. We should require standards. Those things are true. So, because he got caught cheating, that negates what he's saying.
No, he says truths wrapped in lies, and so the frame of reference and how he's saying it is as if it's all men's fault, and so he doesn't allow accountability for the women. All he's doing is just telling you what you want to hear, so it substantiates whatever it is that you're thinking and feeling at the time, whether or not you're right or wrong. That's the problem.
So he would say, and again, I was not a follower of his. So you're saying to me, he was saying in his videos, it's all men's fault. Or it's implied he said that. Did he imply it or he said it?
He was actually saying it after everything that, like, he'll say something like what you said, and then he'll say it after, like, yeah, it's the man's fault because he's not a good leader, and so he should be able to bring that out of you to be able for you to listen to him when you're just not a good listener,
right,
from the get-go. So that type of stuff right there.
The accountability isn't on women to say, hey, you're not a good follower, so how can you expect a good leader? It's the reason why you're not a good follower is because he's not a good leader, which is ridiculous. So what it does is it plays on women's emotion and allow them to feel substantiated in some of the decisions that they've been making, which creates a further divide within the community because real men is not going to, you got to be accountable. Each person has to be accountable for themselves, and real men are not going to stand for that.
I think that was missing in this conversation. So thank you for that. Because again, I wasn't a follower of his. I think what's missing in this conversation that came out straight out the gate was there's a lack of balance though. because it's not always one person's fault. It's a joint effort, period. And so both conversations need to have balance on both sides. Balance has to occur for it to be valid. Because if now you're talking extremes, you're gonna alienate people because you're talking two extremes. Go ahead, I'm done.
They don't like balance. Balance is not welcomed on YouTube. So I agree with all your and unpopular truth. There is men do pander to women, particularly they have their content creators. They're trying to create content, but they both are being, and I'm gonna use the word everybody loves to use on YouTube, disingenuous, if they don't also admit that niggas pander to men's pain on YouTube as well. There's a lot of dudes that create content to make, they're appealing to men's suffering and they're struggling in relationships, and they're having these extreme conversations, pandering to their pain, maybe not the man, but their pain, to benefit their content as well. So it happens on both sides. The men do it to the men, and they do it to the women as well. And the women who are content creators as well, pander.
Agreed. I agree with you on that.
Well, here's the thing with that, and I'm gonna tell you why I disagree with that. The idea of men being able to speak out is a new phenomenon, especially for black men. For most of our history here in America, the media and the narrative of black men has been controlled by the media, and it's mostly pandered to women. So now that YouTube is around and we in the internet age of the great equalizer, men are speaking up, and so now we have this, I guess this wave of people that's like, all right, hurry up and shut up. You know what I'm saying? And then you got some men who's actually, in line with that. But men speaking up, this is brand new. We ain't been speaking up that damn long. And so it's about time for us to speak up. Cool. I don't see people really pandering to it. I see that there is I don't know how to say it, like a recompense, it's like a day of reckoning, because women have to come to the altar and get their admonishment if we expect to get things back on track. But I'm gonna stop right there.
Sean?
Oh, go ahead, man. I'll hop in.
So August, you said men. So you said basically the men are venting. So you said they are talking, but they're venting and not pandering. Is that what you're saying?
I wouldn't say venting. I say more like swapping notes.
What's the difference in swapping notes and pandering? I'm confused.
Well, pandering is just so that you make women feel good and make money. Women gonna pay, they gonna run your bag all the way up if you pander to women. Swapping notes is what men are doing to say, hey, you know what? I'm experiencing the same shit that you experienced. My woman don't listen to me. It's hard out here, it's hard doing this with, trying to have a black woman and create a family and, coming home and she's, nagging me every day. This shit is hard. You having the same issues. Oh, okay. Well, how do we correct this? How do we get this back on track?
All right. Yeah, it's cool. You got it.
So what?
What you mean, Sean?
Yeah, and did you have a full thought? I didn't want to interrupt you. You had a full thought, Sean.
But why? Well, why, Sean? Why'd you like what did he say that you like? Never mind.
Because we hear some of the same people. And bro, there's no way it's not pandering on both sides. I thought that was a very balanced statement to make. I didn't even think there would be any disagreement about that. Like what you're saying, August, yes, there are people who are exchanging notes. Absolutely. But there are also niggas who pander. That's all they do is like the woman. Every title is black woman destroyed or this person destroys feminists. This person like, dog, they pandering like a motherfucker. What you mean?
Look, I got a question though. Like if my goal is to pander, right? I don't give a fuck whether it's true or not. My goal on the internet is to pander, right? Wouldn't it make more mathematical sense for me to pander to women because I'll make a bigger bag versus pandering to men? Like what would be I would have to ask you, and you could just, correct me if I'm wrong. What would be the incentive for me to pander to men versus pandering to women if I'm just here to pander?
Once again, I'm not going to say nobody's names, but we see the people who pander to men and we see the bag they run up. It don't matter who it is, right? Like say, for instance, right, a lot of y'all are Republicans and y'all talk about how the Democratic Party, y'all feel like pander to women and pander to the LGBT community. it don't matter. But then on the other side, they pander to the racists and things like that.
But you didn't answer my question, Sean.
But I'm giving an example of how people will do it in either direction. The answer to the question is you pander to whoever the fuck is gonna send you some money.
I got you, Sean.
Well, I mean, women would send you money if you Derek Jackson and say the right shit. You know, if you get in women's ear and say the right shit that they want to hear and you pander them, there's a bigger bag there. So if the goal of pandering is not to, you know, spread a message or actually, you know, swap notes or whatever the case may be, you just hit a pander. Why wouldn't you just pander to women? Because they're bigger. That's definitely a bigger bag there to pander to women, and you ain't got to deal with no admonishment of, you know, women coming down on you, drone ass niggas coming down on you saying stop talking about the women. You got to deal with none of that shit. All you got to do is collect this money and go. Why wouldn't you just pander to women? That don't make no sense, Sean.
It sounds good. It sounds good, August, but we know I'm not a content creator, but I know it's more men on YouTube than there is women.
Yeah,
that's the first thing. So, and you are on YouTube. So if you talking about running up a bag on YouTube, you're going to cater your content to men because that makes mathematical sense. So that answers your question. That's the reason why you're going to pander on YouTube, because the money is from men.
But that would be
this is why I say it's not pandering. Let me hit. This is why I say the men are not pandering, because even if we say fresh and fit, for instance, one thing they do, they talk about the women. Yes, they do. Not let everybody admit that. Yep. But guess what? They do be trying to tell men to get themselves right. They talk about the men. If you fat, if you ain't got your bag up, they telling you to do all that stuff too. But the difference between them and Derek Jackson, he don't say nothing to the women. But he don't say nothing to make them get better in their situation. He just say, it's the man's fault. That's what the difference is.
They did it demonetized. They got demonetized and still was talking that same shit, not making no money.
So just because
he's one of the biggest creators that you would honestly say are the ones that are pandering to men the most, because they would be the ones at the top of the heap making the most money, and they got demonetized and still was talking that shit.
Great. So just because they make some videos about self-improvement, UT, are you saying that negates the fact that they also pander?
They're not it's not pandering, because the pandering will be one-sided. That is pandering. Pandering is one-sided. Pandering is not, you're not going to correct the other side. They correct men too. I don't seen videos when I was first watching them. They was talking to me just as harsh. It's just that the big shows were the round tables that they had. It was women.
So here's the differentiation. So let me just say this, right? So here's the differentiation that's being made, and then Shai, you can respond. Essentially, we get Strada in. Is I guess, like, you got the people like the Fresh and Fits, where what August and UT are saying that they have balance, essentially, right? So they correct the men, they have the courses for the men and etc. And then they tell the women what they believe to be the truth about their conduct and their modus operandi. While on the other end of the spectrum, like a Derek Jackson, it's all placating and no correction, which would be the difference I'm hearing being pointed out.
Right.
My only point is, it's fine for us to create our own definitions of words, but there's nothing in the definition of pander that says one side. So you can have an ultra panderer like Derek Jackson, then you can have the niggas at the mid-level panderers, like a lot of niggas on YouTube. But it doesn't change the definition of pander. Pander isn't about, I'm gonna read the definition out loud real quick. To cater or exploit someone's weaknesses, desires, or prejudices. It ain't say nothing about one side. So if I know a lot of men are struggling in relationships, a lot of them don't know how to navigate dealing with women, and I know that, and so I speak to that. These men's pain, their weaknesses, I'm pandering to them. You know, it has nothing to do with one side.
So if you telling them about themselves too, because if that's the case, then if you go back and forth, say if you agree with love, and then you come and agree with me, that would mean you be doing the same thing they're doing. What I'm saying is the one-sided thing is the pandering side, because it's not pandering if you agreeing with the women and the men. You can't be pandering like that.
Again, like I said, there are levels to pandering. If y'all want to say Derek Jackson is the poster child for it, that's fine. But to deny that there are men that pander as well, which August said it ain't the same, I'm saying no, that's not true.
No, it might be some men. It might be some men that do that, right? It might be some men that just straight
you
do.
think it's the majority of
men.
You think it's the majority of the big male content creators that pander to men, or you think that they're being constructive? What's the thought behind it? You think that they're helping, most of the larger content creators are helping men with their message, or do you think that they are exploiting the pain or the discomfort that those men have, and then continue to analyze the things that kind of set those men off or give those men a way to maybe not be accountable?
Are you talking to me, or are you talking to Sean?
Well, I'm kind of just saying it, but you guys can certainly, anybody can reply, right? Because I'm just thinking, because my next question kind of goes along with this, right? But what I want to focus on a little bit more, and this is kind of Discord, and so I want to make sure that question gets answered, right? But I don't want to rush it. So I'm using the This Might Be Risky Discord, the panels, all my experience, right? Shad, Strada, Sean. So I'm mixing all of it together, right? It's just not just the YouTube panel. Mm-hmm. You guys have been subjected to that, to where the women will agree with y'all, or whatever the case is. They say, see, these niggas is, and then whatever 4-letter word people want to put behind it. Not even talking about expletives, but like the simp word, all that type of stuff, right? And you've been subject to that. And I'm wondering, like, what y'all was saying is so far, like, what has been characterized as, see, women agree with you, nigga, you better change that, or that's a red flag. You know what I'm saying? What are the things that you've said that motherfuckers be like, see?
Hey, I'm gonna be quick. I got called a simp.
She said
to use stats the right way. That's how bad it is. I got to call a simp for providing a fact. My opinion on shit, like what is actually in the books on how to do things. I got called a simp. So that's what we
right, because they said if you're in the way, you're blocking their progress or something like that.
I think it's kind of strange how you got men who want men to stop talking about the issues that men are dealing with. You know what I mean? Like, it's like y'all are so ready. Men just got the microphone.
Who said that?
I mean, that's what y'all are advocating for. It's almost like, this is
why you doing that, August?
I didn't put any words in your mouth. I'm saying it sounds like you're
for anything.
I'm about to explain why I think that, if you let me speak.
All right, so August, just condense it because I want to make sure that they Strada get a chance to breathe and shit.
My bad, Strada. It sounds like
you don't mean it, Strada. Go ahead.
It sounds like you. It sounds like you're advocating for it because every time men speak up, you classify it as pandering, and even when you're presented with facts of the matter of, like, you use like a bigger channel like Fresh and Fit. These dudes did it demonetized. They make no goddamn money off of it. They go hard on the pause. They go crazy on the dudes as much as they do on the females. Kevin Samuels was doing the same shit, going crazy on the dudes. That wasn't really getting no traction. The minute he started talking about the females, that's when it started getting all the traction. Y'all look at it and say, oh, these dudes are just pandering to men because they're making the male dollar. If you think about it in a business sense, that don't make no damn sense. It's more money if you're a panderer to pander to women. So it just sounds like y'all are drones who are trying to stop the male voice from progressing and blocking progress. That's what I see, but I could be wrong.
Yeah.
That last statement was a panda. I think that what August was funny with August. I've been listening, right? If you listen very closely, I think he's so ready to get his message out that I don't think he's processing what's being said. Like, for example, when he made the first initial observation, it was like men pander to women, and we use a Derrick Jackson example. Sean offered, well, there are men that are pandering to men. His retort wasn't even to acknowledge what Sean said. His retort was, wouldn't it make more sense for them to pander to women? It's almost like he didn't even want to acknowledge the fact that men were pandering to men at all, right?
Well, I think it's
right then, right? So when Sean and Shad was making an observation, he spun it right back into what he wanted to talk about. So it kind of comes off like, no matter what you do, if it's not aligned with the way he thinks, he's gonna take it where he want to go, and that's cool, I guess. But
I think the amount of men that you might say are the amount of men that you're saying are pandering to men is such a minute, because nothing is absolute. It's such a minute, insignificant amount of men that it ain't even worth really mentioning. Derek Jackson, there's a lot of men that are like Derek Jackson that's running up the bag that's pandering to women. There is not really a big bag to pandering to men. It just ain't. So
tell me somebody else that's like Derek Jackson.
They got this light-skinned nigga. My mama sent me the video. I'm like, man, do not listen to nothing this dude said. I can't remember this dude. He on TikTok.
Nigga. Give me another one. You said it's a lot of men. Give me another one.
Shit, man. You want me to go through a list of?
Because you just said there's a negligible amount.
It is a negligible. It is, man. I just don't.
Say it again. I heard you. Look,
I don't follow them.
Negligible amount on the other side. So right. So okay, but you said there's a bunch of Derek Jacksons. You said Derek Jackson. Now there's some light skinned nigga your mama told you about.
I'm not about to do it. I'm not even about to do all that because
that's not a negligible amount on both sides.
I'm not about to do all of that because that's just like
you just said it. I'm just asking
it is. There are men that pander to women. We know that for a fact. So that's
there's turtles that eat their own shit. What does that mean?
We're not talking about that. We're qualifying the conversation to pandering to women, and there are men that pander to women that make a lot of money doing that. I could list some people that are coming to my head right now, but I'm not gonna do that,
bro,
because it's only gonna start some shit.
You know why we having this back and forth right now? Because Shad, he made a balanced statement. He said pretty much that there are people that do it in both directions. Right. You said I disagree. That's the only reason we're having this conversation, because you disagreed at a balanced statement, which becomes the problem. Your thesis, not balanced. Hold on, every conversation, bro, you get to your thesis. You keep getting, you good. You like Kobe. You'll keep getting to your spot over and over and over. No matter what the conversation is, you're going to get back to the same spot, which to me is a prime example of the people that I'm talking about that annoy me. Whatever the conversation is about, you're gonna somehow make it about black women in some way. At some point, is gonna be that, which is a very low level anti-intellectual conversation. And so there are a lot of yous, like the lower level people who do exactly what you do, but there are not a lot of Derek Jacksons.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
But it just might not be people that you see though, Sean. See, y'all trying to say stuff like y'all absolute.
No, they are probably.
It's people that y'all don't see.
This nigga just said his mama told him about a red bone nigga. Tell me who they are.
Bro, here's the thing. That's why I presented tangible examples, right? Because I was saying Shad been subject to that. Sean been subject to that. Strada been subject to that, right? They've been categorized as the men who, I don't know if they would call panderers, but agree with the women or placate to the women, make sure that they are cognizant of the women's feelings and their responses and how they respond, right? Like it was said, like Shad didn't want to call the women out at all in a particular way, and there was actually a point where he actually did, but there's kind of like a preconceived notion based on how they say or what they say. So there's tangible example, alleged tangible examples right here. You see, that's why I was trying to get them to expound on it and see if you in August and UTC see that's a problem. What you did in said example, as opposed to talking about some light-skinned nigga that we don't give a fuck about.
Well, I qualified the statement and let them know, like, the amount of people that you perceive as pandering to men, because there's no absolute. There's gonna be some men that are trying to pander to men, but it's so small and minute and insignificant. What's happening right now is men are definitely going through some things in the community that we are talking about, and it just seems like y'all want us to just shut the fuck up about it already.
See, who is y'all? Why you keep saying it?
I'm gonna be honest, y'all keep saying it.
That's what I'm saying. That sounds like y'all want us to shut the fuck up about it. Like
y'all sound
Sean
like
y'all want us to shut the fuck up. And if we keep talking about it, we pandering to men. That's what it sounds like. Y'all, it sounds like y'all trying to use shame to shut us the fuck up. And if we don't shut the fuck up, you're gonna shame us into thinking that we're panders. Yeah. That's what it sounds like.
It goes to you and CJ.
This is what about
what you say?
Almost like it's like I noticed like there's this like emotional kind of like weight that the men that I guess do this content, they hold this shit like tight. I mean, because August has said two things that have. August said we're gonna shame him, and we just talked about how when you don't agree with the men, you get called names. That's shaming. I haven't shamed anyone, but August is saying. Then the second thing is we're trying to get people to shut up. I always hear how often men tout how logical we are, right? Let me just show you how this shit gets real complicated. We talk about how logical we are, right? So then when a man comes up and says, hey guys, you can use the stats, just use them correctly. You would think logical men would say, hey Shy, we appreciate the edification. We're gonna curtail our message a little bit, but we're gonna keep pushing. But we appreciate you giving us the edification because we were using the stats this way. This is the correct way to use it. We got you. We're gonna get back on telling these women they need to close their legs. That's not what happened because the guys that do this are so emotionally attached to it. They have to in some way kind of get rid of me because I'm in opposition. I'm in the way by providing edification. That just shows you how far gone this thing can get and how emotional men get about these conversations, and they lose their logic when they're up against a man that just pushes back on the way things happen. Then the other thing, we criticize women for the sisterhood and wanting everybody to agree with each other on everything, but when a man comes around and doesn't agree, it's not welcome. We push it aside because it's getting rid of the agenda, but we fuss at women for doing the same thing. And that's why I'm always just like, we do this. When you break down all these fancy titles, we do a lot of things that we complain about the women doing.
Well, look, you just wrong though. That's the thing. It's not like people are just saying, it's not because it's what you're saying. You're wrong. You know what I mean? And so if you don't understand that you're wrong and you think you're right about the things you're saying, when you look at the stats and we pull up the stats, we are qualifying the stats. We're using what's happening in the community in conjunction with the stats to qualify it. It's the same thing they were saying about Shaq shooting at the free throw. You can just tell that Shaq sucks. The stats is going to say that he sucks. That's what we're doing. And so when you're bringing and try to edify us, it's like, yeah, you edifying us on shit we already doing. So it's like, that don't even make sense. So that's what I'm saying.
Sean made an excellent point. Sean made an excellent, honestly, it's a balanced conversation that we're trying to have. You're reading from a script, August. No, you're reading from a script. And and I say that because we said this years ago. We always like these men come up here and we'll say something on the POV, and they went right back to their talking points without listening. And it's the same thing that you accuse us women of. You listen to respond and not to actually understand and comprehend and respond to what's being stated. And I've seen that on full display tonight from you. And I'm not just picking on you, just saying, like, I just see what I see. And it's just full circle right now that I'm seeing a man who's doing it when we were saying the same exact thing years ago, 4 years as women, and got called all types of names and got berated. But it does not negate the fact that what we said was true. And men are saying it now, holding other men accountable and saying, hey, we get it. You got it pent up for so long. You saying what you have to say. No one's saying shut up, but have a balanced conversation. That's all. And like I said, Shad made a great statement. Like I don't see any more balance you can get than what Shad said and what Sean is saying in Strada. Like it's very balanced, but your script can't be deviated from.
So go ahead, UT. My bad.
Can I respond to that? I just got to say I just want to clarify one thing. It bothers me when someone tries to ascribe what I'm doing and not really pay attention to what it is that I'm doing. I'm not reading from a script. I'm giving my lived experience of what I perceive, not just in my personal life, but also what other men have said that they're dealing with. And that's what I'm speaking to. I see this myself. Secondly, I absolutely listen to everything you say. Like 100%. I'm actively listening because I'm open-minded enough to make a paradigm shift in my mindset if I have to, but y'all are just wrong. You got it unpopular.
I forgot what I was going to say. Go ahead.
Oh, damn.
Hey, but look, this is the point, right? We being called simps right now by Trigger Mike. Like, we simps now. Dog, I've been a pimp for so long. I ain't never in my life been a simp. I'm a whoremonger, and a simp. How does this even make sense to anybody, bro? Like, what are we even talking about? Like, what?
Yeah.
How does this even make sense?
Now, a lot of this stuff that helps saying that.
Look, niggas just be saying.
I didn't know you were done. You just saying shit, bro. If we gonna do that, then I ain't gotta be up here because I didn't come up here to be trying to just.
My nigga, that's your choice. I don't care about all that shit,
my nigga. Why are you talking like that? I be getting tired of niggas really doing that shit every time I get up here.
What the hell happened?
What are you talking about? I was
Niggas
talking.
just be trying that little slick talk shit. I be getting tired of that shit, bro.
I was talking, nigga. What is you talking about? Did you not hear me talking?
Come on.
You think I'm a hoe or something? Nah, nigga, I was talking.
Nigga, you paused, then I started to talk, nigga.
So
the fuck are you talking about?
We have a misunderstanding. Come on. After Sean done, then you got the floor.
You got it, bro. You win.
Cheek was goody. UT, what you was gonna add, or what you was trying to interject?
I'm thinking I'm a hoe, though. I'll tell you that. Shit,
nigga. We don't even stay around each other. I don't even know why you talking like we gonna make. When you went, you don't be like that, and nobody be like that when you be in person. I don't know why y'all talk like that when niggas be on the line. Niggas don't talk like that when they be in person. So stop trying to do that shit when niggas on the screen, nigga.
No, nobody talks like that.
It's not like that. I keep telling. I don't know why y'all do that shit.
Everybody is kind and cool in person. Now
that's what I'm saying. So I don't know why niggas get on here and start doing like popping off shit. Like,
hey, because you
stop
niggas
doing that shit. Just talk.
Weird online, my nigga. That shit weird to me. Why y'all niggas be talking weird online and being disrespectful?
I didn't even hear
you don't do that with the disrespect because you were doing
am I tweaking or was I talking?
That's what I was started saying about the shame shit. Because you were the one that started saying it. He didn't say it. You started saying the shame shit. Y'all niggas love to do that little slick ass bullshit. I don't know why y'all like that shit.
All right, let's have a conversation about the conversation since we can't move past it. When UT tried to interject, what did you say, Sean?
I don't even remember. It don't matter. He got it.
UT, what were you trying to interject?
Go ahead, bro. Y'all go ahead, man. Go ahead to it.
Everybody got it. Now I can't jump in for both of y'all, but one of y'all gotta I mean, damn.
Well, that was niggas doing when niggas go to talk and they try to damn just over talk the damn statement. And somebody try to get in, now they try to I was still talking shit. Like,
yeah, it's simply a misunderstanding of you thought he was done, he wasn't done. Right? I mean, that's pretty much the long and short of it. But what were you trying to interject?
Shit, I don't forgot what we were talking about now.
He forgot.
All right, so let me do this then. So Strata, you haven't said enough. I don't think they said. Did they say Strata was a simp too?
I probably was somewhere in the chat.
Did they say it yet? I didn't see.
Probably.
So what? So Strata, what? Okay, if they didn't name you, right? What did Sean or Shad say so far that makes them simps?
Nothing. I'm gonna tell you what it is, bro.
Absolutely nothing. Absolutely.
I'm gonna tell you what it is, bro. This is what's happening right now. You got men at the pulpit, right? They're the pastors, and they going off, and the drummers are going off in the background. You got that one member of the congregation be like, "Can you give me that scripture one more time? I'm kind of confused." And then they like, "Shut up, bro. We in the middle of galvanizing the troops. Stop questioning this shit publicly." Like, I think that the response to what men that are on the other side are doing, they feel that they're in stride, and so any level of balance or correction is going to be rejected because they feel so passionate about not being heard. But I think that they miss an opportunity to maybe retool what they're saying because they don't want to hit a balance in it. Does that make sense?
Okay.
Can I interject for you with your Strata? Yeah. And look,
so hold on. So here's real quick on it, just because so a lot of my lens is like biblical, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it has like a strict and stark hierarchy, you know. Now how I deliver information, I think if I'm like chilling, you know, unless me and Asia obviously like joking around and shit. But we had a lot of episodes where we walking down some, you know, and so I choose to deliver it in a particular way so they can hear it well, you know. But it's not a balanced perspective though. You see, it's a real perspective about hierarchy, how households should be ran, but I'm not using hyperbolic language and things of that nature. Right. And I use a particular tone to keep the energy where it need to be. But it's not a balance like, you know, 50-50 and all that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not like, you know, women are. No, it's saying, hey, here's the order. Here's the structure. Right. He has to do this. And then when he does this, you have to absolutely acquiesce. Right. But I'll use different language to where it's palatable. You know, but
You're
it's
not emotional in your conversation, Hamp. So when you deliver those kind of messages, we may not agree with you, and you ask questions, right? And when we say something, you respond to what we stated. That helps the conversation, and you help, and you have understanding. So you try to see where we're coming from and what we hear, what we know, what we believe we know, and then you talk towards that. You don't try to debate us down and beat us down, and you're not emotional with it. When men interject emotionalism, conversation's out the door. When men ignore what we're saying, conversation's out the door. And it's so if you're going to use yourself as an example, you got women listening to you when you disagree with what we were saying, the way in which you deliver. Even Cheeky, I'll give Cheeky. Even the way Cheeky delivers information. I don't always agree with Cheeky said, but the way Cheeky listened and responded to what we said, and then talk towards what we talked about, that helped the conversation flow. And even if we didn't agree, we'd be like, oh, now we get what you're saying, Cheeky. I don't agree with you, but now I understand your thought process behind it. That's the difference.
Okay. Sean or August?
Yeah,
I just want to know, Mike. What I do? When I become a simp? What happened?
Wait, hold on. I wanted to respond to Strada before you move on to that. I wanted to respond to what he was saying. And just a little bit what Love was saying too. Here's the thing. It's not us just responding just to be responding. I think that a lot of us come from a very like gynocentric worldview, and so a lot of what we prescribe onto the men are feelings based. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you think that
they think they pimps, like they talk like everybody else dumb. They the only one that they.
Well, no, I'm not talking. You just perceiving it that way. You getting emotional even thinking about it, and you're saying that. Yeah, you saying men are being emotional, but I'm not. I'm just giving you my perspective. And if there's something that needs to be changed, you can go ahead and tell me what it needs to be changed. I'm not ascribing anything on you. I'm just giving you what my thought process is. And so I think that y'all have a gynocentric worldview, and it's so ingrained in you that your perception is as if men are articulating themselves the same way women do based off of emotion, when in fact we're only speaking facts. And so when we talk about the issues or the problems, you want us to ascribe it equally. You know, one for the women, one for the men, one for the women. That's stupid. Because if the issue is just with the women, then we need to focus on that, get that taken care of, and then we move on to the next issue. The biggest problem that we're having right now, especially in the Black community, is our women. It just is a fact. We have a lot of work to do with that. Now, what I wanted to say, and I know y'all not gonna agree with this shit. It's all good though. Hey, I gotta be the voice of reason. They're not gonna want to hear it. And so what happens is that you attack men and act as if that we're not listening to what it is that you're saying when we don't agree with it. We actually are listening. It's just we just don't agree with it, and this shit is wrong.
You're not good teachers. Did you not hear what I said? Because
you're not good students.
No, I just proved that we were. I gave legitimate examples. August, I'm not trying to argue. I literally gave hardcore examples, and
right.
That's in the crates and in the archives where I said I didn't agree with what Cheeky said or Hamp said at times, and Hamp brought this example up. I just what
you're trying to do is you're trying to tone police. You're trying to tone police men and say that you have to say it a certain way in order for me to receive it. It doesn't matter how factual it is or whatever it is that you're saying. If you don't say it in this specific way, then I'm not going to receive it. And I'm going to say this, and this is the last thing I'm going to say. Hamp has a very unique and special way, one way I envy, I'm not even going to lie, of being able to articulate himself and give information to people. That is very unique, but you're not going to have every man operate and conduct themselves in the exact same way Hamp does, or even Cheeky, if you use him as an example. Why do I have to learn? You have to learn to be able to receive information. It's not my job to have to.
Absolutely, I do.
And so, however information
showing up here, you're very emotional. You are very emotional, right?
Okay,
no, I'm not. I'm not being nasty. I'm just being.
No, you're fine. I'm not emotional, but it's okay.
Like if I give you what I see, then I'm being combative or whatever. I'm not. I'm saying
you're fine.
You just having a conversation. Being emotional, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not just you. There were other men up here too that were being emotional, and it was in plain sight. don't tell me, or don't. I'm just trying to talk, and with plain sight, what just happened between these two. Men do it as well, and so all we're asking is, if you want us to hear your statement or what you're trying to get across to us, there's an effective way to communicate that. That's all I'm saying. And it's not like Hamp and Cheeky are the only two men in the world. And I'm saying part of this is, instead of just venting your frustrations, and because you got bottled up, can you learn? I'm asking this a question. Can you learn from those other men that are teachers?
Well, here's the thing.
And they can communicate the lesson. I'm done. Go ahead.
No, well, I was going to respond to that. I'm not venting any frustration, number one. And number two, I'm not going to talk in the way that you're designating me to talk. I'm going to talk in my own way. And either you're going to take it or you're not. That's how it's going to work. And I'm okay with you not accepting it.
All right. So so I think they mind through that, right? We have Strada, you wanted to add something to that specifically?
Yeah, real quick.
And then I'm gonna get this show on, all right?
For sure. I think it's just ironic that he started his statement with, let me respond to Strada, and didn't address or speak to anything I said. It's like he just prefaced it with, I'm going to respond to Strada.
I was talking about your worldview, Strada.
I didn't say anything about nothing.
No, I was talking about your worldview, because the way that you was positioning yourself, it seemed like your worldview was trying to ascribe to men the same way that women see things. Like even with love, right? She telling me I'm being emotional, and I'm not. I'm just giving her what it is that I think. I have no strong emotion about this at all, and it's okay if she don't accept it or agree with me, and I'm totally okay with that.
Normally I speak a little bit more freely, right? I'd be more opinionated, but I think since I've been called on, I've only made observations, and I've only maybe spoken 4 times. So you know what my worldview is, not based off this show. I haven't said a worldview. But somehow me making an observation is gynochronatic or whatever. Like, how do you
gynocentric?
Gynocentric, right?
It's like the view of a woman. It's like a woman's worldview.
What part though?
I don't mean no disrespect though.
No. You cool. Okay, that's your opinion, right?
Yeah, it's just opinion. That's all it is.
Yeah, that's fine. But what if I said that you think it's gynocentric? Like, you have to
what just like even how you even see, like, when you categorize us as categorize men as venting or being emotional or different things like that, like love.
When did I say that?
You guys said that a little earlier in the conversation. Y'all was like, y'all are just out here venting on
when did I categorize anybody?
A little earlier, you were saying that you were saying that a lot of men out here are venting and being emotional and different things like that. You said that a little earlier. And I was like, that's not what's happening. You just perceive it that way because your worldview is through the lens of how women perceive things. Like, even I was gonna say, even love, she would have to go through an emotional gate about, how she feel about some information before she can receive it. That's why she's trying to tell me that I have to present her.
All right, so
go ahead. I'm done. Go ahead. You got it.
So essentially, it was. I don't know if it was Strada directly, but it was just talking about men are having opportunity to voice their concerns, opinions, frustrations, and retort to what women have been saying for 40 years. You hear the whole Oprah, Ricky Lake thing, right? So now it's men's turn. And then when he was saying that, then I'm not sure who said it, but somebody said, so y'all up here complaining. And I guess if nobody unmuted to disagree, then that everybody wearing that jacket, but I can't remember who exactly said.
Sean, it was Sean.
If I'm wrong,
Sean asked the question, right? He said, "So are you saying?" Right? Sean summarized what he thought August was saying, right? Yeah. But you can't put that on Strada, right?
Yeah, that's fine. I didn't think it was Strada.
So. It wasn't Strada. Strada didn't say anything.
Bad, son. My bad, dog.
All right, let me read these.
I'm listening, man. Yo, bro, you see crayons, man. You
turn your mic down just a little bit, Cheeky. It's dumb loud. Your mic, Cheeky. Just turn down just a little bit. Lee with the $2. What up, Lee? Says, hold it down. Sean J. Mill with the $5 says, pandering doesn't have the presence of accountability. Cheek been a member for 17 months. Says, look, man, anyone is susceptible to pandering. Men are too. I don't know why men think they cannot and have not been pandered to. It's ridiculous. Good night. Naked with the $5. What's poppin'? Says, the platforms on which men and women are pandered to are completely different. Are we just talking YouTube? Yeah, I think those things seem different to me. Like, they seem so extreme with the messaging over and over. The conversation is usually pretty redundant in nature, and people tune in to hear exactly what they want to hear. So I'm just trying to understand what Nathan's saying. Curtis with the $10 says, is catering to your audience pandering? If that's the case, everyone on YouTube is a panderer. People go to the people who agree with them most of the time. Yeah, I think it's being used. If that be the case, Curtis, that's too loose. Because I think the panderer also was the other thing, Shad, you said capitalizing or like something to that effect. Read it again when you get a chance. Aaron with the $2 says, Sean and Shad think men messing up the pussy market. Nick in the world go around with the $5 says, women get pandered to on TikTok by other women and men get pandered to on YouTube by other men. Arnold with the $5 says, Shad said, I was mad. I was 5'7". My girl built like a bear. Shad, what is FOS? He high-minded though.
Full of shit.
Oh.
Yeah, I did say that.
Aaron with the $2 says, question, which side do you think wants a solution more? Hold on. And I ain't answering no $2 question, Aaron. CJ with the $2. These the most balanced motherfuckers I ever seen in my life. Darius with the $10 says, Sean Shaw Strata, do you think that label is placed on you because it seems as if you're apologizing for previous endeavors with women that possibly majority of men have never experienced?
I don't fucking know, bro. I don't know. Y'all niggas just be talking on the internet. I don't know why. Whatever y'all want the reason to be, it's cool, bro. I'm a simp. That's me.
Strata, you want to answer this?
Bro, where's the question? It's like he just put a question mark at the end of what he wanted to say. So
he's basically saying, are you guys seemingly, allegedly so apologetic and understanding of the women's plights when the men are talking because of your past transgressions regarding women?
What?
Hell, I got called a simp because I told niggas the proper way to communicate statistics, bro. Like not my opinion. What the school teaches all people who do the work. That's what I call it simple.
I got it, Shot. So he's pretty much saying this is the equivalent of
regret.
Your mama don't love you. Like is this the equivalent of
you messed over.
You're trying to atone for your past sins towards women.
Yeah, you messed over women, so now you're apologetic because of it. And use that much more understanding because you were the problem in the past. So now you got all this different type of understanding.
Yeah, I came to YouTube to atone for my sins. You're right. Yep.
Hey, look, I know how to answer that question. I think if Trigger Mike tell me how I became a simp, that would answer the question.
All right, when I read these three, before I go to the next question, Mr. Trigger Mike has the floor. Aaron with the $5 says, do both sides, men and women, want a solution or to make this other side bend the knee? So this goes into my next question. So this one, let's consider this question. It may be, I like the phrasing here, all right? Black Dawn with the $5 says, August, listening and accurately responding is gynocentric. Is a gynocentric worldview. Huh? KP was popping with the $5 says, black men in general have been trained to, quote, feel, end quote, rather than think. Sensitive thugs, they all need hugs. Relly Rel was popping. She said, this little boy August ain't that young. You want to respond to this, August?
That's New Orleans for
how you know? How you know? How you know he's talking about August?
The timing when she
said. Who else she gonna talk about, man?
Yeah, he was talking.
I'm the youngest on the panel. I just
who trying to be my biggest out, man. We friends though. You don't even know it.
Arnold with the $5 says, these are man-to-man conversations. The women are onlookers. They are not participating. The message is not for them. Arnold with the $5 says, we need to let non-red pillar give women the prescriptions. They only exist to rebuttal and protect. Let them show us the way.
He's lying and crooked as hell in that picture.
Black Dawn with the $5 says, August, I think it's better to ask questions first or restate what you think someone said before prescribing someone else's worldview. Black Dawn with the $5 says, it avoids unnecessary confusion. Black Dawn with the $5 says, Shot, what's wrong with 5'7" niggas? You lucky I can't bounty your ass. Pause, I think. Aaron with the $2 says, it's been said a lot of Sunday reform super niggas. Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend and tell a friend. Hit that like button right now if you can. That helps the channel the most. Trigger Mike, what's popping, man? God damn, Trigger Mike was swinging in the chat, boy. Know what I'm saying? Did you only shoot 2 niggas or did you shoot Strada also? Your mic is off.
Don't tell him. Let him keep on talking on mute. Don't say nothing anyway. What's up, Trigger?
Can you hear me?
It's low. Turn your gain up. Don't nobody say nothing because if August start talking again, it's gonna be another 30 minutes.
Lord Jesus.
Right.
Lord Jesus.
Say it again, Mike.
Y'all hear me?
Nope.
It's low. It's
Hey,
low.
man. Allah knows best, man. Allah knows best.
Say it again.
Let me see on my side. He got his microphone all the way up. Oh yeah.
It's a wire. It seems like a wire issue.
Yeah,
we can hear it though. It's faint.
Cheap
Look at him. He don't know what he doing.
Y'all can hear me?
Yeah, there you go. What's popping, Mike?
Your dumb ass keep hitting the mute button, and I don't ever know.
Sure, good.
What up? What up? Nah, Sean. I mean, I think you just helped me hit a record. I come to troll to get the link, and you my bro. So I like. It was funny because I'm like, Simp is like the way men respond to the word misogynist, right? I saw your eyes literally. You weren't even looking at the chat. Your eyes literally did it aside to say, Sean. This nigga's scared. Your eyes literally moved to it as soon as I called you a simp. And you respond.
This nigga's scared.
So nah, fuck, man, Sean, my bro, y'all get
the come on, son. so
You smell something? Definitely smell something in my hair. I smell.
Come on, man.
I know I took a break.
Hold on, Mike. Hold on, Mike. You don't even know Sean. You call Sean a simp though, too.
Every show I call Sean a simp.
Okay, so
every show I call Sean a simp. Y'all just not catching that.
Okay, so why you? Okay, so we understand you showing that's your man's in them, right? Yeah. We get that part, but you call Sean a simp. You haven't had that many interactions with Sean, so why was Sean a simp then?
Nah, the same thing.
This is not the first time you said it. I will say that in the chat, but why you said that?
It's the same thing. August already explained it. He already explained it. So it's like I think somebody had just said the arena when men are. It's like if men are really the leaders don't correct themselves in front of their subordinates, and whenever they do that shit, it's shot. Shot do it every time. But hold on, love. It's also a game that we play that I really don't like, where it's like we use those opportunities to stun on other niggas to make ourselves look good in front of the ladies. You know what I mean? So I really don't like that behavior. Yeah, I really don't like that behavior. It's like you will destroy a logical, but not even just shot. This shit happen all over the place. But we destroy logical points and points to agree with, because here's the crazy part. You could have just agreed with August, kept it about August and be like, I see a little bit of what you're saying, bro, but you know, we got to get this message out so we can really but we'll turn it around so August can look stupid and the women cheer for Shy. I think it is dirty Mac in a way. I've never liked it. For real.
Can you give me an example, Mike? What you talking about?
Say again.
Can you give me an example of what you're talking about?
I see this stuff every day. So
I'm saying when I did it.
No, I'm just saying like that tone policing. It's almost the same as tone policing when the women do it. That's all it is.
I'm saying, so, Mike, give me an example when I did it, bro. That's what I'm saying.
No, you equalize, right? But you're also like grandstanding. It's like a subtle, very. In fact, I put it in the chat. I said, you know what? Damn, what's the word I use? Did somebody see it? I said, Shad is something too, but he's just very articulate when he does it. And I keep forgetting what I said. I used the word. You're extremely articulate. You're not simping. I didn't say simping. I used another word, but
Mike.
It's like you're grandstanding on the men, but because you're saying it in like an even keel way, and the women can feel good about themselves after you say it, it's kind of like it shoots August's point down to make him look stupid. But he was logical the whole time. His points were valid the whole time. So I'm just like, we get lost in the sauce, man. It's like it's always a play. It's basically shooting down what the man said to make them look stupid.
Like, yo, you was in this. See, this what Trigger Mike just pulled.
Come on, you motherfuckers! Come on, I mean,
Yo, let me out. Come on.
Put him in the fucking bedroom. Get him out of here.
Yo, when it was time to put in work, then I ain't going.
That's your man. That's your man.
Oh man, all right.
He could be right. I just want an example. I want to understand what he's saying.
Give him a little bit. He's a little rusty, man.
I thought he was talking about when you did that with the stats, like when Fantastic was telling the stats, and then you came up there and say, "Well, you're not giving the stats correctly in this moment." I felt like that's what he was talking about then.
That's great.
Okay. Wait, hold on, wait. Can we please just stick with tonight, right? Hamp. I'm going. Well, no, not you, UT. Y'all finish what you're saying, UT. My bad. I didn't mean to interrupt. I shouldn't interrupt you. That's on me.
No, go ahead, bro. Go ahead. I get done like that all the time. I'm used to.
You know what? And that's not. And you know what? That's not fair. Hold on, wait. To be fair, that's not fair for him because he's true. He did get interrupted twice, and I'm a culprit of that. That's not fair. So you
go ahead though. It ain't no big deal. Go ahead.
All right, Hamp, I want to share my screen and share what happened tonight and why there's a problem. All right, I'm going back to my old Fight Club days. Jesus fucking Christ. Okay, what we're going to do is share. All right, tell me if you can see it.
Yeah.
All right, pull it up, and then we're just going to play what happened. Literally, what happened.
Go ahead, I'm done.
They don't like balance on balance is not welcome on YouTube. So I agree with all your and unpopular truth.
What did that man just say? I agree with who?
August and unpopular truth.
The what? Okay, right. That's the first part. There's already been let's fin. Let me just. There's already some concession of agreeing to whatever idea was presented, even if you don't remember it. It doesn't matter if you don't remember. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you don't remember it. You just need to know he agreed with what you were saying. He just added more. Let's go back to the video. I'm just saying this is the problem. All right. Now we're gonna keep playing it.
There is you can men do pander to women, particularly they have their content creators that are trying to create content, but they both are being, and I'm gonna use the word everybody loves to use on YouTube, disingenuous, if they don't also admit that niggas pander to men's pain on YouTube as well. There's a lot of dudes that create content to make they're appealing to men suffering and they're struggling in relationships, and they're having these extreme conversations, pandering to their pain. Maybe not the man, but their pain to benefit their content as well. So it happens on both sides. The men.
What? Are we seeing? Wait, hold on. Let's just let that sink in. Okay. What the fuck did he do? Like, come on, No, wait. Like, listen to what we're going to. This all spiraled from a man saying, "I agree that it's happening on this side, but we have to be honest, because if we're not, we're being disingenuous. We're not accepting the totality of something. We're not being objective. We're not being fair. We're not doing something that we can clearly see." And what happened?
Look.
Wait, no. I'm gonna tell you because I didn't ask you. I'm going to tell you what happened. What happened was the moment he brought up the side that the totality of it all, one side that obviously is on a side said, "That's not true. That sounds like a bias. That sounds like an issue."
You're wrong.
The issue Of course, you're going to think that. I would expect
Nah,
that.
I mean, no, you just,
Like,
you just
here's
factually wrong.
So here's what happened, and you can't say factually when I just showed you video evidence of what happened.
Yeah, you are.
So that's cool.
Wrong.
Okay, and you're factually incorrect and delusional. So factually speaking, so here's what we're going to do as people that are wrong or whatever, right? Both of us, we're going to take a look at what happened, and we're going to go, this doesn't make any sense. The man already said he agreed. He already said that women are pandered to. You can't fathom men being pandered to. Or let me ask you this. Here's my first question. Have men ever in the history of YouTube, any channel that ever existed, has men ever been pandered to?
Before you go there, bro,
No. I'm about to start there. We're starting there.
Gotta chill.
Let's start there.
Let's put a formula on the conversation, right? Cheeky got the floor to ask the questions. You answer the questions directly, and then he can respond, and then we'll switch it over, and then you can say what you wanted to say before you, and then after you answer his question.
The answer to your question is yes.
So, in the history of niggerdom, have niggas pandered?
Yes. To niggas, yes.
Go ahead, Cheek.
Okay, so if that is the case, why did you answer with Rashad said that? I disagree. Why did you answer that? I disagree?
Because the amount of niggas that pander to niggas is so astronomically low that they're insignificant, which is what I said also in the show. Yes, there is no absolute of anything, but the amount is so insignificant because it's not even a good business choice. If my idea is just to pander is just I'm not here to spread any good messages. I'm not here to put an agenda for to tell women the truth so that we can move the black community forward. I'm just here just to pander and get to the bag. The best way for a panderer to get to the bag is to pander to women because there's more money there. Yes, there are guys that come on YouTube and pander to men for the bag, but it's so insignificant that it doesn't matter. That's what I said. But go ahead.
Okay. You can make a statement that you can't qualify, which is it's insignificant, because that's not true. The fact that we have these channels, i.e. Fresh and Fit, where they are literally repeating and showing the same actions of Derek Jackson, somebody that's not living the lifestyle that they're portraying and telling men to do things that they're not doing and making millions. Literally, even when they got demonetized, it didn't stop. They went to another platform. They went to Kick. They went to Rumble. Somehow, some way to earn the amount of money that they knew was still in a market because it was pandering to that audience. The issue is, even fresh and
that don't
fit,
make sense, bro.
Let me finish. It may not make sense to you, but you're not.
I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you why it don't make sense.
Cool, but don't interrupt me. It may not make sense to you, but it makes sense to them to find another platform to continue to do what they're doing. And guess what? Even within their conversations or even their videos, they said, "Yo, we do videos on real estate. We do videos on this, that, and the third. Y'all don't want to see that. Y'all niggas don't want to see that. Y'all." They've admitted it. Meyer has admitted it several times. You know, when we get the most amount of super chats videos is when we're kicking people out. They've gotten it. It was so appealing that they even called it Frank Castling. There's a reason why they got so much success from their late night shows and not from their shows talking about fitness, real estate, and Myron being a cop. Nobody gave a damn. The only time they gave a damn was when a nigga was kicking a girl out, a bimbo that they knew was bimbos, and kept looking for bimbos. They weren't looking for college educated people. They weren't looking for women that had good arguments. They were looking for women that they knew they could kick out. Why? Because they were pandering to an artist. Now you go.
I got a question. So what would be the purpose of somebody pandering?
Generally speaking?
Yeah, like what is the overall?
I don't know. I don't know. Money. It could be anything. You'd have to ask that's pandering.
So money. Okay. If somebody's demonetized.
Wait. I answer more than just money, but go ahead if you want to stick to money by all means.
Well, I mean, it would have to be money because influence doesn't bring money alone. So nobody's going to get out of here and just say things like this just for the influence. There has to be a clear direction of why they're pandering. And the reason why someone panders, which means that they're just saying things that someone wants to hear, whether it's factual or not, is for money. So if they're demonetized, what sense would it make for them to keep saying the same shit and not get money? If they're saying things that are against YouTube guidelines, why would they continue down this road if their job is just to pander? Secondly, I'm not no fresh and fit apologist at all, but what you're saying about them is factually incorrect. These guys do a whole Miranda of things. They talk about real estate, they talk about this, all that stuff. The same thing that happened with Kevin Samuels when he was talking to the men, it just didn't get any traction. But when they started talking to the women, that's when it started to get more traction. And so that's what you see most of the time. Thirdly, and this is the only thing I'm gonna say, I'm gonna leave it right here. Them niggas had all kinds of women on there. They had doctors, lawyers, motherfuckers with PhDs, all kinds of shit. And all the women say the same exact thing from the top of the heap all the way to the bottom of the barrel. They all said the same thing. And if you go and do some real research on who they were talking to, it ain't just a bunch of bimbos. There were a lot of prestigious women that were on that show saying and doing the same exact shit. You got it, though.
Okay. So, again, because I've been here long enough to know this. Yes, they had doctors, lawyers, but they were also outnumbered by OnlyFans members, by people that they found in the club. Oh, absolutely. Yes, they would have 2 or 3 doctors surrounded by 7 OnlyFans members, by all means. So yeah, I never said they didn't have any.
Yeah, no. You did. You said they only
got
the bottom of the barrel members. That's what you said.
Okay, August, fine. So let's play semantics.
I wasn't playing semantics. What you said, bro?
Okay, so you said you disagree with Shad. Do you agree with Shad now?
Disagree with Shad about what?
You said it. Do I have to play the video? I'll play it again. No. Since we're going to play what somebody said, let's play the part where you said I disagree with men being pandered to. You didn't make all those qualifying statements. You said I disagree before he even got there, even though he agreed with you. So are you sure you want to play? Are you sure you want to play this is what I said game or no? What you don't do?
Later in the video, I said
later in the video. Oh, later.
I'm about to tell you. I said that Shad. Of course, there's no absolutes. There's no 100% of anything. But the number, like I said again,
later in the live stream, anyway, the point is
so insignificant that it's not even worth mentioning.
You're still in my floor. So how about this? Let me get it back. Right? Since you want to. I'm gonna get it back. Okay,
go ahead, get it back. Go ahead.
Since we don't want to play the game of what somebody said, here's what we'll do instead. The reason why those men continue to message is because it's still profitable at some point. You want to know why one of them continued that message and the other one didn't? It's because one is experiencing the benefit. Why one of them
what you're talking about right now? What you saying? You
out of fresh and fit. You ask why would they continue this? Why would they try to continue to pander to men? Blah blah blah. If it's not profitable, the simple answer is it's still profitable, which is why they went to other platforms. It may not be as profitable as it was before, but it's still there. And you can't keep saying that these things are insignificant when there's another person by the name of Andrew Tate who was the most Google man in the world and most. Come on now, you can't start saying these things don't matter and these things don't have any influence when by every measurement of what is influential and everything that matters about metrics and status, they're showing up. They're showing up.
Listen, man,
and this has nothing to do. This has nothing to do with women. This has everything to do with somebody. It has everything to do with red pill, manosphere, whatever men not addressing or not being honest and being fair in the assessment, which is why can't we admit that men are being pandered to as well? It's men and women. It may not be to the same degree. It may not be more than other, but we got to the point where we can't even say men are being pandered to at all.
Well, first of all, I said that, and here's why I disagree.
Okay, say it again.
I'm not saying it again. Here's the flaw in your logic, right? If you look at like Andrew Tate, they have a lot of legal issues saying and delivering the message that they wanted to deliver. Now, if you're in this business to pander, that means that you have a selfish need in this business. You're not here to edify or move the culture forward in any way. You're just here to extract resources. That's what panderers do. Why would they go through the legal trouble? The juice wouldn't be worth the squeeze. Why would they go through the legal trouble of being imprisoned and going through all of these lawsuits and potential, all kinds of shit just to pander to men and not make any money, to get demonetized, to get kicked off of platforms, to have your accounts frozen? Why would they go through all of this shit just to pander to men? There has to be a why.
Okay, so I don't want to interrupt. Is that a rhetorical question?
Well, I was just saying that there has to be a
Okay,
why. So,
so
what
here's
falters in your logic is that
the
there isn't a why. Like
no.
the
What,
why doesn't line up. If you're pandering to people, you're only pandering for one specific reason, which is to extract some resources, and it's actually doing the opposite.
So what you're doing is you're saying my logic fails because you don't know. I don't know the intent of someone else. I can't tell you why scumbags are scumbags. They just are. I can't tell you why scammers would scam people, because that's what they do. The same thing applies with Andrew Tate, Myron Gaines, and all of and a lot of these people. A lot of these people, they're just not good people.
That's
right?
a closed-minded way of thinking.
So Andrew Tate, anyway, I'm not going to go down.
I'm just saying you have a
point. Let me finish.
Thinking, let me
finish.
Instead of making
you can't you cannot tell me I have a closed mind. You can't even agree with a man saying that both sides get pandered to.
I did agree with it. You keep saying it. I did agree with it. I said that
multiple times. Move on. Go ahead.
Let's get this. What's a final statement on y'all back and forth, August?
Oh, I'm just, he lost the argument because I agreed with him. I said that multiple times. I agree with him. I said that it'd be a logical fallacy to tell him that there are no men that pander to other men. That would be a logical fallacy because that would be an absolute. Absolute is obviously a logical fallacy. I agreed with that. But it's insignificant, is what I said. So it's not even worth the discussion. It's almost like, they got one man that panders to women, but 1,000 other men pandering. There's one man pandering to men and 1,000 other men pandering to women. And so you can't parse it out and say, well, it's equal on both sides. You can't do that because it's insignificant that men are pandering for a numerous amount of reasons.
Okay,
that's what I'm saying.
Cheek.
I think, unfortunately, his actual logic is flawed. He's saying that the quality or the quantity of a thing can supersede the quality of one particular thing. That's like saying, HAMP, I have 100 rounds, right? And you have a nuclear bomb. Who do you think is going to win the battle? I have 100 bullets. But you have a nuclear warhead.
Depends on who has the bullets.
But you gotta be factual.
No. See, you see how I didn't interrupt you. You
gotta let him. He's stating that his
there's a flaw in his logic, right? Since he was speaking on the flaws of logic, there's a flaw in his. The quality of something can supersede the quantity by and far. There's no way in the world I can continuously hear Andrew Tate, Kevin Samuels, and Fresh and Fit. Those three alone dominated the internet all 2020 to 2023, 2022. And those are only three people. We're not talking about the what's the dude who said alpha male strategies. We're not talking about Tommy Sotomayor. We're not talking about all these other people that have their own level of influence. I only named three that dominated. Where you couldn't escape it, you couldn't get past it. And if you think that those three are by and far the biggest amount, then that's a flaw on your logic, not mine. The second part, and I'll be done. Is if we can't acknowledge that there's simply we all, male and female, have to be cognizant of the things that they watch and consume and the bias that they have innately, then we are not going to get anywhere in these conversations or evolve as people when it comes to relationships. That's the second part.
Right about that, boy.
And I think Shad, fair as it was, the statement was not crazy. He still got a biased take from biased men. And that's all I'm going to say to it.
Yeah, Trigger Mike still ain't tell me how grandstanding, but it's cool.
So in that conversation while it was I understand it. So August essentially saying him acknowledging that Shad said this pander on both sides is inconsequential because the men that pander are so insignificant. Cheek saying even if it's three, those three made a super duper impact, so it don't need to be a bunch for them to have that same influence over men and almost placating those men to exploit those men. But August saying he's listening because he acknowledges what Shad said because he knows they're out there, but they're insignificant. So I see, you know what I mean? Well, no, what y'all think? Cheek right, put a 1 in the chat. August right, put a 2 in the chat. Now, Trigger Mike, when Cheek was talking, I actually do have another question, but y'all making it easy on me tonight. I appreciate y'all. Trigger Mike said, cheeky pandering to the women. Why you did that, Mike?
Dog, like I literally just watched. So, Shad, I'm gonna actually answer your question too in the same answer. I just watched. So what I just watched was August say something, and then other men help Love change the topic. You change the topic. He was talking about men pandering to women, which happens at a exponential clip, right? Because that's the way the market works. Products are marketed to women at what, like 80%? Because women buy far more shit than men do, right? That's the way the entire market works. The supermarket, clothes, makeup, anything is marketed to women. So men pandering to women is a national campaign. But y'all turned it around. You helped her change the topic completely. You helped. So that's what I mean by grandstanding. And the reason it's grandstanding is you said, I agree, to then add something to it to make you more right than he was. Right? So that's why I'm saying it's grandstanding, because at the end, it's supposed to make August look stupid, and it helps Love avoid accountability for what he was saying. The women have to take no accountability when other men help the women change the topic.
You're
that's
literally
why I said
words together, Mike. What, are you serious? You're literally saying words out there.
Y'all were not talking about men pandering to men. Y'all weren't.
Okay.
Wait a minute. No, I can't lie. I know there's no just visual evidence of chronologically order of what happened, and you're still not accepting this.
Hold on.
Trigger Mike.
Hold on, Cheek. I'm trying to understand what Trigger was. So what? Okay, what was the topic that got converted? So what were we talking about, Mike? And then what changed?
Men pandering to women.
Okay, men pandering to women, and then go on.
Shad then said, I agree, but men pander to men also. Nobody was talking about that.
Why did Love get caught up into that anyway? Even if you
summarize
it like
you're
that.
Doing it right now.
No. Mike, this has nothing to do with men and women. This has everything to do with chronologically being confused. I am reading a book, and you jumped to chapter 28, and I don't even know how we got there. You just explained and broke it down. Shad brought this up. How the fuck did Love get involved?
No, I'm sorry. What I mean is that there's a woman present. All right. So what we did was take a factual statement that August made, right? Because we're supposed to be like facts. All right. Well, here's my point. Aside from that, I agree. But then we turn it around on August to make him wrong. Well, men, y'all do this shit all day, bro.
Mike.
And then hold up.
Okay,
you then made a video to show him how wrong he was. Right?
I didn't make a video.
Hold up. Check this out.
Oh, so Mike, you're saying Shad did so what about the men?
Yep.
Oh, I see what he's saying. He said you did what about the men thing. Oh, okay.
Okay. Look.
That's a woman main tactic. Wait.
No. Wait. Was this conversation not based on being fair?
Yeah, because the premise, the question scrolling is when the women agree with you, it's a problem. Or when the women agree with you, you need to reassess what you're saying.
This shit is bad,
so wait, hold on. So it's almost as if Shad was on topic and he didn't do nothing besides stay on topic. It's almost crazy.
No, Cheeky. The problem is that when August states facts, you can't turn it around that way that makes him wrong. That's what I'm saying. He wasn't wrong.
Trigger Mike.
Then he got ganged up on to make him wrong.
Trigger Mike. Stop. You're not listening. You missed the first part. You're not listening. I played the video back. The first thing Shad did was say, I agree with August and unpopular truth. He started He started off with the agreeing, right? And he was only addressing the secondary part of the title and the topic itself, which is when you agree with women, they call you a simp. He started off agreeing with men. He literally started there. And then he said, it's unfair, or you're going to be disingenuous if we don't acknowledge that there's a fault, or there's not an acknowledgement on men being pandered to as well. And the moment he started talking about the man, not because he disagreed, but because he's acknowledging, hey, this isn't fair, and we need to talk about the pandering here too, so we can just be evil, even kill people. every man jumped on him, and you were the first. You were the main culprit. You, buddy, you went on that called him and Sean a simp, and the only reason why you did it was for clout. You didn't even mean it. Come on,
yo. Yeah, I think you're not listening, Cheek. I think you're not listening.
It's the same thing that happens. Like if anybody that's been in like a long-term relationship, you know what I'm saying? It's the same thing. Like when you arguing with your woman, where if you make an assertion and y'all talk about something that she might be doing, one of the things that, and it breaks a lot of relationships up. One of the things that women like to do is they like to say, well, what about when you did X, Y, and Z 2 months ago? You know what I'm saying? So that's what happens when we're having a conversation. It's the same. And this is why I say it's a gynocentric worldview, because instead of us just staying on that, which is what Trigger Mike is trying to stay, you made it a whataboutism and made it about men. And then the crazy part about it is that you're trying to sparse out the accountability equally, but it's not equal, because astronomically more women are being the ones that are pandered to than men. And you don't want to acknowledge that. So it's like we're trying to bring into the conversation to make it even, something that ain't even really even. So you want to do an atomic bomb to bullets, but you can't. It's bullets to bullets.
I think there's a disagreement there about the nominal number of men that pander, August. So I don't think everybody agrees with that statement.
Oh, that there's a lot of men that panders, is what you're saying?
Well, I'm thinking that
or equal amount of men.
Yeah, I think people look at it as a lot of which you may not see as pandering, and you see it as them voicing the concerns is seen as pandering.
Well, Cheeky, he conceded earlier when he was saying, you know, he was naming the big pages, you know, like Fresh and Fit and all these other motherfuckers. He was like, they're nuclear bombs. So that's all it takes is just these three. You know, I'm not even going to go into alpha male strategies or whatever the fuck he was saying. That he acknowledged that it's not a large amount. He's saying that these guys are just so big that these guys are, you know what I mean?
Here we go. Okay, so to clarify,
you don't need that many because they're so big.
Yeah, right. That's what that was his argument.
But real quick, and UT, you could jump in, but there's no concession there that there's not a lot of them either.
I got you. Yeah, that's true. Yep,
go ahead, UT.
But the thing is, we're calling them. So Cheeky, let me ask you this. So we calling Fresh and Fit, Kevin Samuels, and who else you said?
Andrew Tate.
We calling them panders. So what's the difference between them and the men that pander for women? Do they try to correct men too, or they just only correcting women?
They do both. Right, both, because even Derek Jackson, even he had videos where he talked about women need to be correct as well, right? So here's the issue, and see, I love it when y'all frown y'all faces. It's because you're not. No, not you.
I don't know. You might be right. I don't know.
See, August, and that's the point. I do know because I've seen them. The problem that we have with these pandering is we continuously get fed a majority of the time. What's his name? Derek Jackson was mainly talking about men and the wrongdoings of men, but he had videos where he was talking about women too. So the real question is, how many videos do you need to have of the opposite end till you're not a pander anymore?
Well, I think you need to have a equal balance, like Fresh and Fit did, because they did do equal balance shows. The shows, just like we were saying, the popular shows were the ones at night. That's fine, but they did do daytime shows where they were talking about men most of the time too. So with Derek Jackson, and the people that pander for women, they're not nowhere near balanced like that. It ain't even close.
Ironic? You know what's ironic, Hamp? I think that people with extreme opinions, they only want balance from the side they don't agree with. But when you have someone that doesn't agree with them, that's trying to balance them out, they're offended by it. So it's like you only leverage the word balance when there's someone that you don't agree with what they're saying, right? So just like, and I'm not saying UT did it on purpose, but I just see this a lot. Like that was an example I wanted to pull out, right? So, for example, we would holler for Derek Jackson to be more balanced if you don't agree with him pandering to women. But if UT is talking, I'm like, hold on, let me hear a little bit more balance in what you're saying in real time. It's like I'm destroying all of the agenda and progressive men trying to fight and come back. You see how that works? It's like we pick and choose when we want to enter balance in and what we use it for. So if UT is saying I need more balance from Derek Jackson, it's a good argument. When I ask UT or August for balance and what they're saying, I'm a panderer though. You see what I mean? Like how we're weaponizing the word balance.
Strata. Let me just say
I think they already giving you. We already gave you the balance when we was telling you that what Fresh and Fit did. They already gave you the balance in their thing. So we said, give me the balance here. Because if you ain't balancing out, because y'all saying pandering.
I get what he's saying.
Be one-sided.
Okay.
You going to men, women are the bad ones. Women are the bad ones. And don't say nothing about the men being anything.
Right.
That is what I consider pandering. Now, if that's not the definition, I might not be saying the right definition.
No.
But what I'm saying is that's what we see.
Right. But this is the thing. I don't even have a problem with your observation because I think you're absolutely right. I have a problem with when you introduce balance, you're not called a simp. You're not called a panderer. People just say it's needed. If I were to ask you for balance, I'm a simp now. You see how that works out? Not you and us, because we just having the convo, right?
I get what you're saying.
You see how it's weaponized based on who's saying the word balance? That's what my point was.
I do got an interjection real quick, because I think there is a difference there between the two. Derek Jackson specifically, we found out he wasn't living out what he was spitting out. The reason why we get so upset at his pandering is because we call people simps when we don't believe like you ain't really like that, bro. You're not really like that. You don't believe it, right? So that's the definition of simp, is that they're using any means possible to ingratiate women to them for the purposes of sex or selling them something, right? So when it comes, that's why I was like, it's a lot in the subject matter with Fresh and Fit and these other dudes, because we're gonna have to look closer, but it's like they tell dudes, hey, you can't be broke out here. Get your money up. Get in shape. Get all this type of shit. And some of them niggas in shape. Like you said. So it's like the pandering thing weighs more, right? We have we get really upset with that because we know they're not going to be balanced because they don't even believe what the fuck they saying. It's like in the back chats, I've been in probably hundreds of back chats on panels. Dude will say some shit in the back chat. Then the women will show up. Then we be on the live show to this nigga. We all be in the back chat like, this nigga just switched up. They don't believe what the hell they saying. And that's where we take that shit a little bit more personal.
Okay, well, check this though, Chicken Mike. You still have to address what I actually said though. So what I said was, I don't have a problem with the observation and calling for balance. I have a problem with how it's received by the people that are listening to the conversation. So how is it that when one person is pulling or they're a proponent for balance is needed, but then if someone else does it, the need for balance is now ridiculed?
Okay, give us an example of somebody that's pandering to men. Give us a man that's pandering to men.
That's not the point. I think that
it's the point. That way we can add balance to it. Because if you can tell us and give us an example, because we use Derek Jackson as example. So if we're gonna parcel this out equally, give us somebody to stand on.
But you're making an argument for something I'm not even saying. I think
I'm trying to give you the balance that you're asking for.
No. You can't. The reason why you can't do it is because my argument is not with the observation, it's with how it's received by the people listening. So that's why it's not a one-to-one comparison. You're missing.
I think Strata, I can't answer that, but I think the reason it's being perceived that way is because, say August say something, and August saying women need to let men see their kids. And then one of y'all come on. I didn't even know y'all was those guys until HAMP said that. I didn't even know. Yeah. But so that what threw me off. I was like, I didn't know we were talking about them, But what happens is when you come on and you direct the statement back towards the men, and we're like, why would you say something towards women letting men see their kids? Now we like, why did you derail that at that point? You get what I'm saying? So now it seems like you're doing something to derail this message, and then you might not be thinking that you're doing that, and that's fine. And I ain't saying that nobody done it tonight. It's just that's what we hear when somebody come on like, why you ain't try to stay in your kid's life? I'm like, that's what we fighting for. You know what I'm saying? But that's that's what I have to.
Got you. That's the clarity.
And that makes sense. Yeah.
That definitely makes sense. I appreciate that because I was confused.
Because that's what Yeah, because that's what Mike was addressing initially, right? But the issue, or the reason that I'm not going for it tonight is because none of that happened tonight. None of that happened tonight. It was on topic. It was on brand. Everything was that the tone and topic was set, which is why it makes sense what you guys, the overarching theme of what y'all are saying. I agree with. Yes, don't step on a man's message if it's good and it's in need of criticism. Don't stop the criticism. If it's true, it's true. But that didn't happen tonight, and it almost got put on a man's jacket that it did, and I can't stand for that. That's not cool.
Well, I thought we was going off of people's past stuff from before this show, because that's why when he said that about Strata and Shaw, them, I was like, I was confused when Hemp said that, to tell you the truth. So I was like, okay, I ain't know we were talking about them, far as putting them on this. Because I haven't seen them do that, to be honest, because I haven't been on shows like this. So I was like, okay, but I didn't know. So I guess it was coming from their past, like the past shows.
Okay, so I could take that. I think that's fair, right? Like you don't know that, but that charge was never against you because you did not call Shot a Simp. You didn't do anything besides chill and got cut off. My bad. Again, my apologies, dog. I didn't mean to cut you off. I cut you off. I didn't mean to do that. But yeah, the issue that we have is,
hey Cheeky, do you got the super chats on a different screen than the one you looking at?
No. What?
Can I read this motherfucker or what? Can
oh, shit, my fault.
Jesus Christ. No, don't go. But going with the fight out said, Cheeky, how do you know they were talking about August and not me? Cheeky, shut the Arnold Allen with the $2 says, tell Shad to say fantastic and get it over with. Salute to Mr. Fantastic, man. Arnold Allen with the $5 says, YouTubers are selling self-improvement by telling men they aren't doing anything wrong. Cheeky off pills. Black Dawn with the $5 says, Cheeky, quote, Andrew Tate and Myron are scumbag. That's a quote quoted. Black Dawn be coming up with any type of his quotes are not quotes ever, bro. Vet was popping with a 20 ball.
Shit like that.
Evening Hamp and the panel. This is simple. In real life, women get pandering to more than men. So why wouldn't that apply on the internet? They simply are more emotional. They support their feelings, and it translates into money. Anybody want to respond to this? No?
Yes. Find me, show me the clip, show me the video where Shad said men were pandered to more than women. Show me where he said that. Show me where he said women. Show me where he said women are pandered to less than men, and I'll give you 2 shiny pennies.
I mean, he doesn't have to say that. If you're including that into the conversation, then it's almost like a 50-50 thing. It's not even remotely close.
Yeah, it's implied.
So it's implied. So why add that into the conversation if it's insignificant? That's the problem.
Have you noticed I'm not even saying that because I kind of been around long enough to know how these niggas operate. So I just like the narrative, the lack of understanding, the need to be right. Like I kind of.
If I'm wrong, correct me, edify me.
Either narrative or it's implied. Like Trigger Mike said, I was grandstanding, still didn't explain it. Like they just say shit and got to stick, and it's kind of crazy, but I'm used to it now, so I just let it run.
No, but I could really explain the grandstanding thing to you. I promise.
I gotta get to these, all right, and then you can explain it concisely. Aaron with the $2 says, Cheeky applying to be a super nigga. Arnold with the $5 says, y'all confusing pandering to men, quote unquote, with being hard on women, quote unquote. The content creators are hard on men as well. Jay Miller with the $10 says, men pander to men on YouTube. However, most black men were indoctrinated to pander to black women since birth. The fact we congratulate women having children out of wedlock shows pandering to women is a much bigger issue. Aaron with the $2 says, they jumped August and held UT back. Black Dawn with the $5 says, Cheeky, quote, you only call Shot a simp for clout. Jesus Christ. Black Dawn quotes be all over the place. Who he quote? I think he quoting himself. So Brewer with the $5 says, Tyler Perry became a billionaire pandering to women, exclamation point. What billionaire did that? Pandering to men. Aaron with the $2 says, can a reformed whoremongerer ask for balance? What? That life for the $10 says, HAMP. You know I keep it funky on both sides. Indeed. Them niggas be pandering. It's the truth, fellas, from a non-biased brother that supports and don't really have a dog in these fights. Shad is balanced. Hakeem, what up, though? He said, I'm pandering to this 20 to DJ HAMP. I know he like money and he might give me one of those American bully pups he breeding in his attic. Is fucking nasty work, son. My dog is not even a bully, man. I try to go a different way with it, feel me? You know what I'm saying? But damn, man, let me play that clip.
Sends his regards. Yeah! You know how I love money.
Hakeem with the shit, my bad. Curtis, what's poppin'? Perfect. With the 50 ball says there's a difference today. Women can go on daytime TV and say that men are useless. Wow. The View. And talk about getting banged in a freezer. HAMP covered this.
Shit like that.
And go on a divorce tour, Tia Mowry. This has never been something men can do. Salute to Kurt. Damn, that's kind of something. Anybody want to respond to this?
You're right.
I don't think anybody said anything contrary up here to that.
Nobody said that. But also, there again, y'all aren't. Not everyone is aware of how big this male pandering to pain. To be more specific, because that's what Shot said, pandering to pain. I'm about to put a YouTube. I'm gonna send you the YouTube.
Is
link.
it bigger than the View?
I don't know what the View. I don't know the views numbers.
That's
I don't know
mainstream media, and they pander to women. Just because, that's what I'm trying to say.
Wait, stop. It's I Show Speed bigger than the news.
Yes.
I Show Speed.
Shut up. Let me finish. My
mean?
point is, just because something is mainstream. This is so ridiculous, bro. Just because something is mainstream, just because you have this idea that is stuck in you and whatever mindset you have, and that's fine, August. I understand, and I'll fuck with you for it because it's fun, right? When we met in person, you were the same way, and we could have went back and forth. My point is this: just because something is mainstream does not mean that there is not any influence, or there's something that isn't mainstream that has a bigger influence. I Show Speed, all of these streamers are not mainstream. They're YouTubers that pull more numbers than anything that you watch on TV currently.
We're talking about pandering specifically.
And I was getting ready to say something, but you interrupted me to ask, is it mainstream? Is it Tia Mowry? God damn.
The View has a large demographic of women who they pander to. Y'all niggas is on here telling men that they need to stop talking about the shit that they talking about because it's pandering to men, but don't even talk about the goddamn shit. And that is a bigger, larger platform. That's all I'm saying.
Like y'all will lie on niggas. That's what's scary. Y'all will allow niggas to prove y'all point. That's the scary part about some of y'all.
Why y'all contrary to men?
Who said stop? August, who said that? August, who said stop?
Who said
Who said that?
Look, I'm about to tell you, it was an assumption. It was assumption based off of the stance that y'all take. So when we talk about the difference between pandering to men and women, y'all niggas is always against the men. So it's almost like it's understood that y'all.
Let me read these.
Let him finish.
Weather outside is humid. She turned up her location. She must think I'm stupid. She wanna run the street, so let her ho, let her ho, let her ho. She doesn't show signs of stopping. So who am I to be cock blocking? I really hate to see you go. Let her ho, let her ho, let her ho.
John Henry with the $5 says panders to women. Derek Jackson, Yada, Ace, Steve Harvey. DC Slim was popping. Perfect. Great show as usual, champ. Appreciate you, my G. Men pander to women for sex. The real question is, why are men worried about pandering and getting attention that the women get? I like the question. I think it's a little bit adjacent to kind of what we're talking about, but I understand, how he asking that question. Because it's more so about who's doing the pandering, not people wanting to be pandered to per se. But one question that I had, you know, as we continue on, were y'all good on that? Y'all good on that? Is so it interests me, right? When we talk about sharpen or shame, you know, oftentimes, like when we talk about bringing shaming back, y'all heard that before, right? It's correction. And if you're saying back, right, we want people to start to operate how we did previously, you know, and there's a solution in that, whether, you know, marriage, you know, 2-parent households, etc. But when I see like the bigger content creators, when I first started, you know, if you go to the channels, it's consistently almost like bashing is probably the more popular stuff that you see, right? Black women bad again, black women bad again, black women fighting at Dollar Tree, black women do. And I'm like, okay, I get it. Their conduct sucks. What's next? You know? And it's anecdotal because I haven't really watched a whole bunch of everything. You know what I'm saying? So I just wonder about the correction. You know, is it correction if you don't have a game plan for the aftermath?
Mm-hmm.
So if you're saying you got to do this, right? You got to get on my program. Do we have programs to get on? Are we prepared for when they make these corrections? Do we want marriage? If they clean their act up, what happens next? Because I'm wondering, like, it's like y'all conduct sucks. And then what? So is it correction or is it bashing? You see what I mean? That's what I'm trying to understand.
That's a dope question.
Go ahead, Mike. You got it.
Oh shit. I mean, no, like I think you laid it out perfectly, bro. You laid it out perfectly. I think what happens is like, because I see a lot of the time people conflate anything you do that does not agree with women, you get called a misogynist, right? Like I don't see how you could lump somebody like me in with Tommy Sotomayor. Like I don't call women bitches. I don't do none of that stuff. But yet you will hear people try to say you're just like such and such person. So it's like you're conflating us because one thing that is very important to me is credibility. I only talk this shit because I do this shit. So it's like people don't take time to really weed out who is credible enough to be saying what they're saying. And you know, you hate black women when my wife is black. She's not even African. She's Black American. My daughter black, just like me. Like, what the fuck you talking about? Like, I hired 12 people last year. Nine of them black women, 3 of them black men. What the fuck you talking about? So it's like we really got to mine out who has the credibility to be saying what they're saying. And this is, and maybe it's me. I'm accountable enough to say it might be my fault, but the reason why the message comes out so strong is because people that are logical, like educated people like some of us here, I've never seen a problem get solved without acknowledgement of the problem in the first place. And I do think that's where we are with the women. We do not have, and this is the problem I got with it personally. I understand thoughts exist. I understand there's chicks in the hood that won't get right. I want to know why the hell educated women with degrees are bent over on spring break getting it popping. That's not a good look. So I got an issue that we have such a trash culture in the mainstream. Why are we acting like debauchery is acceptable in the mainstream? Like with people with degrees and homes and 401ks, why are we acting like our children don't need fathers in the home? We're supposed to know better. So it does piss me off and kind of make me get personal because it's like, are we this far gone that we don't want to put out a world-class image at any level? Right? So that's where it comes up from me, but I speak on it so passionately because I know I got the credibility to back it up.
Do you think that strong, because you said it's delivered strong, right? Is harsh the same thing?
I think harshness, like I don't, like I just said, I don't call. So there is a spectrum. Tommy Sotomayor is harsh, Fresh and Fit harsh. I ain't them niggas. So you know, I'm not harsh on by any metric of the spectrum.
Okay. Do you think that after all the criticism, right, the outing of the behavior, is there a next step? Like, do you see the articulation of next steps in terms of, let's say, the correction accepted? Do men have the game plan, the order and structure that they want women to acquiesce to then, once if they were to receive the correction, move forward?
You know what? I think that's a big I don't know. I'm not even gonna try to give a pretty answer to it because I already kind of went through it. We don't even have the acknowledgement of the behavior to start with. So it's definitely gonna put the onus back on the men. The women acting right now, they in the crib, they not at spring break. What y'all niggas gonna do? Y'all gonna pay the bills or what? So it's a big I don't know, right? But we got to start somewhere, and I think it's with the acknowledgement that this behavior and these problems exist in the first place.
Sean, what's good? Oh, let me get Sean real quick. Sean, you heard how I initially asked the question. What's your thoughts?
My bad. Can you say it one more time?
Yeah, it was like a long. So essentially, like, there's a lot of calling out the behavior,
Oh,
and I just wonder. Oh, okay, go ahead.
Yeah, my bad. So I think I'm gonna be honest. There is no next step, which is, remember, about a month or so ago, we were up here. Fantastic was up here. We were talking about the opportunities that the Manosphere has, or the whatever has, in terms of things that can be built out, things that are tangible, things that can be measured. Because right now, as far as what I see, I don't see anything that exists that we can be like, you know what, this is what the Manosphere does. This is what they teach. These are the results of some of those teachings. And so I in the absence of that, it's just kind of like a Manosphere Victim Olympics. It's like the Red Pill Victim Olympics. It's just a bunch of complaining to me. You know what I'm saying? And in that way, until you put those things in. Now, a bunch of things are being said that I think are really dope things for men personally, but I just think if they were put in place where they were institutionalized and they could be tracked, and we could really say, look, this is what is being taught to the women. They started here and now they're here. This is where the men grew to. I think that would be more helpful. But there's a lot of good things being said that I really agree with 100%. So.
Okay, but you saying that there needs to be something created tangibly to where you can track progress and then hold people accountable once they get the behaviors, right? When they can properly identify the behaviors, find the few and far between, and then they get that. Now, what's actual?
Right, because otherwise, like you said, all you see a bunch of headlines that say, "Black man destroys black woman," angry black this and this and that. And while there are very angry black women, that's great, cool. So my thing is that everything, like I said, I think the black man is the most important person on the planet. All the crime in our community is our job to fix it. I think we're, like I said before, we're the most consequential parent. It's on us. If we say we built all these things, it's on us to build some more shit that can really solve these problems that we talk about. Because we just keep talking about the shit. August said a bunch of words, nigga. What's the solution? On both sides, I'm about solutions. And as men, we keep saying we're about solutions. But bro, okay, I get what you're saying. What's next? What's the solution? Let's work on it. We ain't gotta agree on these small. No, it wasn't a question. We ain't gotta agree on these small things on a panel. Cool, but we agree that problems need to be solved. Cool. Let's argue our way to a solution. Let's debate our way to a solution. Let's do it in the spirit of moving forward, or let's just keep talking and stop acting like we're trying to solve something.
Can I respond to that real quick?
Well, UT was trying to get into UT. What's popping? What you think? You can respond to Sean, or you could, No,
I'm not responding to Sean. I'm just
yeah. You have.
It's a the next step is the men going. If the women start doing what they're supposed to do, we're gonna stop complaining about it because we ain't gonna have nothing to complain about. So now the exact thing that people are saying that they want us to stop doing. If the women don't, if the women are not being rude, having the attitudes and being good to be around, what is UT gonna talk about with love? If love doing all that, what he gonna talk about in love? He can't say nothing to it. So now, what I think gonna happen after that is the men are gonna want to be in relationships with the women because they're gonna be good people to be around. So now the relationship is gonna be there. Now the kids are gonna have fathers in the home. All that stuff will happen, but that step has to happen first, because if we remember back from the 80s and the 90s, they were saying the men weren't doing them. We weren't doing them and going to prison. We weren't doing it. Now, when it came to these 2000s, what was going on? We were going to college. We was getting good jobs. Now we said, okay, here we are. Now y'all said we was deadbeats. Now y'all said we did. Now we the most present in the house, what everybody saying, right? So now we're here. Now are y'all gonna follow us now? But that's not what's happening. So when we saying are we blaming somebody, it has to be a blame somewhere. Because we have the stats, and if the stats ain't right, then I might be wrong. But if we go by the stats, we have improved from what they said that we needed to do in the 80s and the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
So that should make the women say, okay, that's a good man.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go there. Let me follow him.
Follow us where? Where do you follow us to?
Follow his lead. That's the only thing you got to do, because we try to make it like every man gonna be a billionaire. No, every man gonna be a millionaire. No, we just a trash man. He making the house. He making sure the house is good. Follow him and be that man's help. That's it. And I don't know what else people are thinking is gonna happen after that. It's nothing else that's just life. That's all I'm saying.
Gotcha.
I guess my question, UT, because you kind of got to it, I guess Sean's follow-up question is, I hear the mantra, find your purpose.
Mm-hmm.
Do most men that are asking for change behavior, right? They have that? Do we have that? Majority of us?
You saying find a purpose?
Yeah, because you hear that, right? We hear that phrasing all the time, right? The platitude. Find disregard the women, focus on yourself, find your purpose, get in the gym, all shit that niggas don't know how to do.
Right.
Okay. That nobody never taught them. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, find your purpose, the women will come. I'm just simply asking, are we there? And then if we get to change behavior, are we ready?
I just like I say, like I think when it comes to those type of words, I really don't go by those like that find your purpose shit, because it really, I don't see it really just so vague, to be honest. What is Cheeky's purpose? Is it like electronics or whatever? Well, I don't know what Cheeky gonna do, you know what I'm saying? So, or me, basketball, I'm not going to the NBA no more. So I mean, that's dead. So what is my purpose? My purpose is to be a good man and have good character and lead other folks to try to make them better than me. Say, don't do this, or try to stop them from doing something that's crazy. But other than that, what? Okay, you got a job. That's it.
And you know what's crazy too? That I just now realized that's some of the worst advice ever given, because that's not even how it happens for the men who got everything, right? The men that got the job, the family, the house, all of the things that we built, like let's say the American dream off of, they did everything simultaneously. They got married before they were 30. They started to gain real income and real opportunities because their woman was acting right. Now, listen, man, I'm gonna tell you right now, large majority of men that don't have no kids ain't got no purpose. They ain't got no reason to go to fucking work. They literally are just gonna live paycheck to paycheck out of cans of pork and beans and shit. I'm telling you right. If you ask me what my purpose is without my kids, I will fucking struggle to tell you. And I'm an extremely driven individual, but I wouldn't be here where I'm at, right? So I know we like to say that. That's really a YouTube thing. That's really a Fresh and Fit thing. Because I'm like, nah, these dudes, until you give them something to work for, until they see that they baby in their own likeness, be like, I got to get up and get this shit right now. Let me go get all the opportunities I can. Shit, even a woman helps him get opportunities, right? So I've been off that for a little while.
Sugar Mike, I got a question. I want to ask you a question. Do you think that the man's purpose is supposed to come before he gets his, like, the family, or does the family light his purpose for him? Is that what you're trying to say?
That's like him having he kicks anything he finds, and really, it's really the woman too. Let's just be honest. Let's just be honest. It's a cooperational thing, man. When they say we need them and they need us, that is what they are for. Like, if you ever been to church, at some point you're gonna hear a sermon. She helps you. We really want to be mannish about it. Like, I could do this shit without her, right? But it's like, dog, I really became more impressive. I became the total package when I got all of it. Exactly. The wife and the kid. My picture looks awesome, and I'm responsible for maintaining this picture. So I'm gonna do everything I can. Right.
I only asked that question because a lot of the talking points, or a lot of the pushback would be is that men should have some purpose and some direction that they going in already before they can bring a woman on board and then have the child. He should already be in some form of direction. And what I was hearing from you, and which I agree with, is that that's not really how things go chronologically. His purpose becomes fulfilled once his family comes into play, but we don't have that right now. So that's
I think we're teaching it wrong. You're right.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Let's slow it down. I was with y'all for a while. I think that I don't know if it's as absolute as y'all are trying to make it. I think that a man that has purpose, or at least direction, once he can articulate it and he finds a woman that, you know, he's cool enough with, I do think that they go further faster. Can we agree to that?
Yes. That's what I was saying. But you know, it's the talented 10th theory, right? Very few. That's why I said, I didn't say all. I said most men will not have a purpose without that. It's a very small group. It always comes out to like 10%. Like when we even talk about wage gaps between men, it's always a small group of hyper-driven men that will stay up 23 out of 24 hours a day. It's never all men, right? Until you give the other men the purpose to do that, they won't do it.
If we being honest though, I think if we want to even walk this path, right, ain't that a better conversation to have with men, amongst men, is we need to help these brothers find a purpose versus why the women ain't acting right. Don't you think that's a better convo?
Well, here's the thing. Can I say something to that? The thing about it is that a lot of women are expecting to have a superior man, and they're average women. The average man, and this is what I say. This is why I say this. And
that's what I'm saying.
No, I get you. Listen, but let me say it's relative. I'm gonna tell you it's relative. We live in the richest country on planet Earth. This is the top of the heap. So the average man is making about $43,000, $45,000 a year. I'm talking about average black man making about $45,000 a year. The average woman should be partnering up with that black man, but that's not what's happening. They're expecting him to be extraordinary when he's just an ordinary man, and then so they're saying, qualifying it as them not having purpose. A man making $45,000 a year, you can't say every man need to hurry up and make $100,000 a year before they can get a wife. That's ridiculous. So the average woman should be with the average man and making that nuclear family with those expectations of him not being extraordinary.
Before y'all attack August, because I know it's coming. Before y'all attack,
let me ask some clarifying questions real quick. Anecdotally speaking, did August, in your anecdotal experience, did your wife subject you to such thinking?
Hell no.
So my wife didn't even ask me like how I used to get money, right? She said I ain't need to ask because based on like how I am, she just knew we would never be broke. Right? She didn't even know like how much money I was making and all that. You see, like it wasn't even about a qualifier, you know? Yeah. UT, did your wife have that disposition? Like, hey, my nigga, your bread ain't right. You gotta go left and all that.
Nah.
And then Trigger, how long you was with your wife like before you made it?
Yeah, definitely.
What was her disposition?
Work ethic. She just seen it. Like, you know, my wife said something to me. You the only man I've ever seen do everything he said he was gonna do. And she just meant little, it didn't mean job. And like when I met her when she was doing her master's, I'm gonna go to the Navy. She called me one day, I was like, yeah, I'm in the Navy. I moved to Houston. Oh, I moved to Houston. She's like, you the only dude that ever did everything he ever said he was going to do. So she just watched the way I moved.
Okay. Strada, in your past experience, like what was her disposition?
Same. She didn't give a shit about the dollar amount. She just knew the character and the consistency of who I was. It showed up. But that's back to having purpose, which is why August just hopscotch the whole thing I was saying.
No, I'm gonna say, look,
I'm gonna give him back the floor though.
He's just trying to get the synopsis of everybody. I think
I'm just trying to understand what we've been subjected to, and it's anecdotal, right? Before you know what I mean. Sean, what was your past experience?
Exact same. Excuse me.
Same as.
It's exactly what Strada just said. My bad.
Okay. Old nigga, boy. Sha, when you know in your deepest relationship, like were they qualifying you based on your bread? Was it potential? Like what is it?
I'm just a driven person, so the same kind of Trigger might say. A few other people say they can see that. They see how you get up every day with the conversation you have, stuff like that.
Cheek, you active, you know what I'm saying? In these streets. Ain't that how y'all say it in Atlanta and shit like that?
Sure. Yeah, okay.
Sure, that's how we say it down here.
Sure.
Yeah. We sick and all that. So what like are they inquiring, you know, how stereotypical or what the sentiment is? Like what you do for work and all that?
I've never had, I mean, of course that's part of the date, like, hey, what do you do? But
sure.
They've never asked me how much I've made. It's never been a question. None of that is even
yeah.
They don't even think about that.
I wouldn't have told her ass no way. Like, what
and just to be fair, they could be seeing how you move, what you have, how people treat you, right? Because clout is provocative to them in terms of action.
I'm an incel and I'm broke, so they're not seeing much. It's just they just, if they like the character of the person and they just like if women like you, they like you. If they don't,
yeah. Well, nigga, you rewound time by throwing those events you throw. So hush for a second, please. Right. So and it could be anecdotal, right? But y'all niggas ain't that much better looking than me, and I'm a 4. So y'all motherfuckers, you know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing to write home about. Sorry. You know? So look at Sean, take the fuck out of here, nigga. You shit me.
Man. You see this?
Speak for yourself, nigga. Sean says speak for yourself, and don't let kinfolk come in here, nigga. She'll cuss me out over Shy, boy. So I'm just wondering though, like what does that mean to the grand scheme, right? And we're not eliminating those women from being problematic in different ways, right? But just in terms of these qualifiers that I hear, right? I haven't been subject to that directly. You know what I mean? Now my wife say she want me to be home and she want me to make all this money. They say dumb shit like that. Like I'm gonna do all this shit at once, you know? But just like I ain't fucking with you if you ain't making this much money. You know, I'm just trying to understand like what's the overarching experience if we don't have it.
This is what I was gonna say, and
sure.
Here's a litmus test of it. I would argue that those women that have maintained those relationships with those men who are extraordinary men who go above and beyond are extraordinary women. So it would take an extraordinary woman who understands not to say nothing like that, who understands to just follow suit with him. If he falls, help him get back up. You know, that type of behavior. Extraordinary women can maintain relationships with men. It's ordinary women who have things to say and want to try and do things her way, and you know the typical thing. Those women do not qualify for these extraordinary men. Only extraordinary women qualify for it, but the litmus test isn't the same as men. The litmus test for women is how well can you follow? How well can you take instruction? How well, you know, how can you support? That would be the litmus test for an extraordinary woman that would maintain a relationship in a marriage.
You know, too, just to set like Strata, I was gonna say, you said we got to tell men to go find their purpose. Only reason I want to adjust that a little bit because it's kind of against what I was saying. Was like they're not gonna find it, they're not gonna show up. What I would say is that we got to teach men the basic life skills that are going to be important, right? I think what dudes are doing right now, they're listening too much to what women say they want, and that's why they screwing up. I want money. So they're trying to do everything fast so they can qualify fast. Nothing worth doing happens that fast. Teach, like I'm gonna teach my son. Everything that's gonna come into you in life is gonna come to you from being a man of integrity. It's not gonna be celebrated when you're young. In fact, they're gonna joke you. There was a clip that came out. Dude was giving a shout out to all the dudes that were squares. Talk about we were the strongest ones all along. We was in the hood too. We walked right past the weed smoke. We did all that. You see what I'm saying? So it's like teach them to be a man of integrity. Pay your freaking debts. Don't have anybody out here looking for you. These are all the attributes that's gonna make you a great husband. When all of your purpose come to you, you're gonna be able to maintain it. So I think a lot of dudes will go searching for a purpose and have none of those foundational principles, values, and morals to maintain any damn thing. Right? It's like somebody who's saying, give me $1 million, I'm gonna do blank. Nah, nigga, you bad with money. You bad with a little bit of money, you're gonna be bad with a lot of it. So if we teach them those baseline, how to take care of yourself, keep your house clean, you know what I mean? Pay your car note on time, man. Stop skipping out of your car insurance. Take care of your damn self, show up to work on time, be a man of integrity, climb the ladder, all that type stuff. The world kind of just comes to you when you do that. You know what I mean? And then they can maintain it. So I won't say go find your purpose. I think that's what we telling dudes now. That's what Fresh and Fit telling dudes, and they kind of just stuck because it just sound good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think the bigger point I was trying to make, Trigger Mike, is it's not even that the purpose was the part of what I was saying. What I was saying was I think that what you were talking about, what men can tangibly do on a day-to-day, is just a better conversation to have with men about where we need to go versus look at what the women over there are doing. That once you do everything you're talking about, those women end up in your purview anyway. Right? I think that's another thing we don't speak about enough of is what actually happens in this real world when you out here, the shit that you don't like, that you're repulsed from, you don't even really see or acknowledge because it's not something you're even looking for. Like, for example, if I asked you, now this is based on perspective, right? So if I asked you when the last time you seen a black woman acting out in public, based on where you are in your life and what you're looking for, you might be hard pressed to actually give me a real life example of some of the things you think you observe. And now this is where it gets funny. Somebody that is looking for it at all time, if I ask them, well, when's the last time a black woman was nice to you? They would struggle with that answer. So you see how your perspective can kind of mold the way you walking around in this actual world.
Worldview. Yeah, your worldview. Yeah. I get what you're saying. I think go ahead.
No, I'm glad that this thing yielded this at the very least. I really what's up, Chi? You want to say something?
No, I was just saying I'm agreeing with you. I'm glad we got here.
Yeah, because I always when find your purpose. And I think if I look back in the archives, I may be guilty of saying that shit. And then when I try to assess it, when I'm like, what does it mean?
Right.
You know, now I think standing on your square, right? Adjusting yourself, keep yourself accountable by submitting to the Most High and then following his tenets. That's a different thing than like find your purpose, right? No, my plan was not to own a moving company, my nigga. I really don't like moving baby grand pianos. I'm gonna be honest with you. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't really like it, right? But it's lucrative, and I got mouths to feed, right? You know, I think my thing is I ain't losing as much as I can help it. And so I'm purposeful because that's my modus operandi, you know, but find your purpose mean what to who, right? This isn't a dream of mine, you know? Like, so it just, what does that really mean? Like, it's almost like manifest destiny, that bullshit.
But I think,
go ahead.
I'm agreeing with you first. I want to say that twice. I'm going to say it twice. I'm agreeing with you first. I'm not grandstanding. What I've been struggling with is like the lack of clarity because I don't know when we had these men, who we talking to? Are we trying to prepare the youngins, the 16, 17-year-olds for whatever the future is? Are we talking to 40-year-old niggas who are jaded and bitter? Because you will have a panel full of men. You have a nigga like a Trigger Mike who's married, happily married, can give you some game on that. Right beside Trigger Mike, you have a man saying all women are hoes. You have another man saying there's no point in getting married. What's the point? Marriage is a bad deal.
I think you meant fantastic. That was fantastic.
Marriage is a bad deal. Well, there's no clarity on this so-called like unit that we have that we're supposed to be using to better the black community because you got all these different voices with all these different goals, and then we don't know who we're talking to.
It's not supposed to be.
That's where I get stuck in this loop.
Let me just add this part, right?
Yeah.
And also, Mike, your mic is not on.
It's not on no more.
No, for Shad. Shad, he.
Oh, I don't
got
think
that mic on, but it's not picking it up.
I think you ever seen the niggas when you go to Walmart and they be having to package AirPods outside?
No, nigga, this the DJI. Quit playing.
I think that's I think that's a L.
Chinese.
I think it's the L DJs, bro.
Yeah, it's not picking up. So it sounds like it's coming from your computer mic.
We worked on this several times. You see,
hold on.
There you go.
Damn, I forgot to change it. My bad.
There we go. There, I got you, bro. I got you.
I didn't even say so. I'm so tired of this nigga microphone, bro. Like,
my bad. My bad.
Go to the bathroom and follow it, bro.
I'm old, man.
This one and the baselines are interesting, right? Because us that have voice and a level of influence, right? How tall are we keeping it? I joke about this all the time. Me and Trigger Mike was talking, because you know the ladies wear the Lululemon to the gym and shit like that, right? Trigger Mike gonna tell me his wife wear a big shirt. I said, nigga, what tall tee she got in 2023? I don't know goddamn big shirt. That outfit cost $300, nigga. She not, you know. And so I always say, yeah, my wife used to wear, you know, tie a coat around her waist, and I found that motherfucker in the driveway. The fuck out of here. You know what I'm saying? Like, but you know, like you susceptible to the stuff that's happening, right? We always kind of talking like our women are like, you know what I mean? Yeah. Up here. And the truth is, I think they're great subjectively, but there's shortcomings and arguments and fussing. And I took something from Omar, right? Big O saying, nigga, if she go do what you told her to do and slam the door, as long as she go, who give a fuck if she slam the door? I say, yeah. I give a fuck if you slam the door, but I catch your drift. I give a fuck. You know what I mean? Because she still went to go do this shit. Right.
It's like the 80-20 rule. It's like the 80-20 rule.
Essentially, like what you you know what I mean? So it just, what's the baseline that makes it palatable for people to be successful? You know, right. And I think that shit is all over the place. Let me read these real quick, and I think August was trying to get in, right? Yeah. If I'm not mistaken. Oh, Nika with the $2 says, August, you know what they say about assumptions. Zagu with the $5 says, Shah says all we do is complain about women, which implies we should stop complaining! Exclamation point. Maybe he's calmed down, but it was a thing for sure. You respond to this, Shah?
Hey, Zagu. I apologize, bro, from the depths of my heart, bro. If you heard me say it on the panel, bro, I'm sorry. Hopefully you can forgive me. Hopefully I can atone, bro, and we can kind of move forward and build. I apologize, bro.
John Henry with the $5 says panders to men, and then he got a bunch of names. So I think we dropped a couple of names. It's interesting point of view. Black Dawn with the $5 says Trigger Mike. I hired black people. 9 of them were women, 3 of them were men. He call you a simp, Trigger Mike. You gonna respond to Black Dawn?
No, Black Dawn is a troll.
Black Dawn with $5 says HAMP open the panel for Mr. Fantastic to bring some stats.
Yeah, I saw Joe.
ISO Joe. Now we ISO Joe. And again, I'm like, if this nigga say again one more time, boy. Will with the $10 says Zoe Williams used to say, I wouldn't tear you down if I couldn't build you back up. It seemed that we mastered the destruction, but the build is sold separately.
Right.
And that's what I'm trying to parse out. You know what I mean? Aaron with the $2 says, see what happens when y'all let UT talk. John Henry with the $5 says, there can be no agreement until both sides acknowledge the same facts. Black Dawn with the $5 says, Trigger Mike, most men are broke, dusty, and live off pork and beans, directionless, unlike women. There you go, simping again. You want to address, man, this ain't right. He must be from a different tribe, innit?
Different country, yep.
Yeah, I thought he was Nigerian also.
Oh, I didn't know. I ain't claiming that name.
Aaron with the $2 says, the trigger point, Adam got tired of naming animals. Sean with the $5 says, do you want women to follow you into vagueness? Do women need to follow men because they are men? Anybody want to respond to this?
Yeah, they do. They're not doing that well without this shit.
It's not even good.
I mean, that's the thing. See, a lot of times people trying to say that should women to follow men, but they never did it to the extent that they needed to do it. So you don't know, and we won't. They not the way they doing it now is not working. Do something different. That's all we saying. Do something different. You're not doing it now, and you're in the worst state. Do something different.
You know what,
That's
UT?
all we saying.
You know what, UT? it's also important to say that this is the men don't lead by desire, we lead by expectation. These are the expectations they have of men. So why ain't you following the man that you start there? You know what I mean? Follow the man by playing your rightful position. So I noticed that a woman will say, a man can't lead, men don't pay the bill. They will stand in the way of the very man that they ask for. A woman will get a provider, she'll get a protector, but she don't know how to stay the hell out of his way and help him make decisions. So that's a problem we got, where it's just people have been so set in their ways, they don't know how to unprogram. It's like you asking for something, but you don't know how to act even when you get it.
Yeah, you don't know how to keep it. You asking for a good dude. I want him to have a job that's gonna pay all the bills. Just like say what HAMP doing. Say HAMP is another dude, right? And he paying all the bills. He makes sure the kid's good, but the wife or the girl, the woman just won't listen to him. And you like, well, then why did you ask for me if you're not gonna listen to me? You asked for the leader. Everything that he does is leadership, and it is showing. But then you don't follow it.
Here's the thing that they
don't make.
They give. I mean, not to interrupt you. They give you comment. They have this mantra of like, what are men leading into? And it's not until a man is in that position that you will be able to understand it. He provides structure. He provides guidance, like on a day-to-day thing. And most people don't. There's no way to demonstrate that. You know what I'm saying? The only way you will be able to demonstrate that is making more money, which is all they're asking for. But there's no way to really demonstrate what a man is capable of until he's in the leadership position. Yeah. But the submission has to come first.
The men are not leaders narrative is just a way to keep their rebellion going.
Yes, that's all there is. That's all it is.
That's mostly what it is, right? There's a lot of dudes that's not leaders.
Mostly.
What I'm saying is we can clearly see that women don't listen to the men who got the credibility. The men, yeah, you know what I mean? That's where I got the problem.
It's not adding up.
All right, let me get through these and we'll get shot. And I don't want to speed through them because y'all were replying. Go ahead, Shot. No,
I can wait. Go ahead.
Damn, what was I about to say? Okay. John Henry with the 10 ounces. I have to call you out on that statement, Mike. I have no children, but my goal as a single man is to course correct falsehoods and mischaracterizations spoke without substantiating affecting us.
Look at the irony. I said it's 10% of men. He sent $10. Next.
Damn. Black Dawn with a HAMP. From watching me, my wife knew I would never be broke. Red Pill Warrior. You are an above average man. This is disingenuous, man. Black Dawn, go to sleep, nigga. Black Dawn with a $5. Red Pill Warrior. All men on these panels make more than 100,000. This is not the same. You are all simps and liars. You are above average.
He's right though. It's a lot of people that are the same that congregate to talk this shit.
I don't make 100K. If y'all got plans, y'all send it my way. Please send it my way.
You in the right one.
You not even 30 yet. You about to be there.
Yeah, man.
I'm a janitor.
You gonna get there, dog. You in the right room.
Move to DC. They'll pay you $30 for sure. See, this pounds for the 10 ounces. HAMP. August is correct. Prime example is Mr. Payne. He never made over $45,000 for a lifetime. He made a successful nuclear family. Are we going to say he had no purpose? No, that's one thing. Did we make it money centric? The purpose?
That's what. Now let's go there. I'm glad you said that because that is what happens on these panels.
Okay.
People make it money centric instead of saying a good person that's going to lead their family, and that's where everything goes to shit. Right?
Yeah, you know what was proposed, UT? It was like the women are saying, I need a nigga to make 100K. That's why when I asked the question and went around the room, I prefaced it off of how much are they putting money on the pedestal. That's why I framed it like that, because it was said they're asking for people to make 100,000.
Right. But you remember what you said earlier? You remember what you said earlier when Love was up here? You said that the women asked for that stuff because of how the men dog the men, right? That's something I think came from men too, that a man got to make the money. So now the women like, oh yeah, if you ain't making the money, now you ain't the man. Like, you get what I'm saying?
I see what you're saying. You saying that the bigger picture. Yeah, because we were talking about hypergamy on the other show a couple of days ago, and the money allows men who usually wouldn't have access to now kind of compete with the men who have like the aesthetics and the physical prowess.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it can be a equalizer, right? So now I catch your drift. So he said, yeah, and so you, Caesar, we just talking about the purpose and like that word. It just how much sense does it make, right? Because men are gonna sustain their family doing whatever the fuck they need to do. If UT could make 150,000 right now shoveling shit for a living, he would do it.
Do that's a fact,
right?
That's a fact.
I would do it.
That's right. I don't think you're right.
I don't need to be happy, nigga. The money just gotta come in here. You know. You know what's ill, Sean? We got this dog, right? And the dog, so it like cowers a little bit when I'm talking to it and all that. And like, you know, he kind of like timid on me, but he always under me too if he not in his cage. So if I sit down, he'll sit where I'm at and all that, you know what I'm saying? And the Borbo, they got mid energy. So that nigga run around for 10 minutes, he done. He come sit next to me, you know? And my wife is having like this epiphany because of the dog, which is interesting. She's like, that's your dog. She like, it's the voice, it's the something like, but it's just funny how she like looking at it, you know, because the kids, she's like, you know, they think the kid's supposed to listen and the kids don't listen, right? To the women, right? They just don't. Kids be like, fuck out of here, ma. They don't say that, but they might as well, you know? But the dog is also kind of doing it. And she's like, oh, like, damn, there's something about this thing. You know, it's just an interesting dynamic. I just want to, maybe I'm kind of out of bounds saying it, but it's just something. Like Dawn with the $5 says, Red Pill Warrior says, Cheeky, you are above average. You are intellectual. Most men are not you. You are lying and simping. Who is he quote? Stop putting quotes around it, Black Dawn. Aaron with the $5 says, it's not because y'all were secure. They know other women are trying to get y'all and they played the smart game by locking y'all down. Y'all are not average. Damn, right on time, boy. I told you. Free will don't exist, nigga. John Henry with the $5 says, August, your precedent for what makes a woman extraordinary is only a factor if scripture is your focus. Like Don with the $10 says, Red Pill Warrior, Hamp, you own your own business. You make over $100,000. You bench 400 plus pounds. You are above average. August is right. Disingenuous simp blue pill.
Yep.
Come on, bro. Aaron with the $2 says, women know how to retire from the dating market. Aaron with the $2 says, looks to women don't matter when it's time to retire. Michael Lim with the I
said that's true.
Michael Lim with the $5 says, unmarried black men love talking to married black men about the solutions when the married black men are the solution in real time, in real life. Strong families. Black Dawn with the $10 says, Strata, when was the last time you saw a woman doing something wrong? I went on Instagram and saw some girl getting flown out by Drake. Women are lost and degenerates and don't cook. That's funny. CJ with the $2. I'm sick of Cheeky yelling. Stop after asking questions. Yo, yelling, stop after asking questions. John Henry with the $5. Shot. You would have to catch my show sometime. A value conversation regarding the nuance you are speaking of.
Think about it.
Bravo Tech. I'm with you, Sha. I'm DJ drones, mic, cameras, gimbals, etc. LOL. Great convo, gents. A little shaky at first, but went in a nice direction. Pound support. Bravo Tech. Damn, hold on. I ain't played this in a minute. Didn't fit. Sean Brewer with the $5 says, example of women leadership, the projects. So why not follow a man? Laughing my ass off. God damn, man. Friendsgiving in the building. Perfect. Like that. Shoot the Friendsgiving with 50 membership. What level membership was that, man? It don't even matter. Appreciate you, man. Oh, wrong one. Perfect. Thank you for the love and support, man. We truly appreciate it.
And when I'm feeling broke, NJ by my side, Henny like $40. This shit like 25.
Perfect. Like that.
Sean with the $5 says, example.
You read that one.
Oh, my bad. And with the $2, women want to lead to what? Women want to lead to proof. The word partners.
They can't.
Pastor. Victim lived with a member for 11 months. Salute. Pastor still had his wife ironing his clothes so he can date his side chick. Black love goals. Damn. And with the $2, the women might be right. Men made them this way. John Henry with the $10. Lady, stop asking for leadership from a man you will make a child with but not marry. Men do not expect leadership without having demonstrated the credentials, influence, delegation, and trust. And with the $2, the dog sees you as the alpha. My dog did the same.
Perfect.
Hit the like button if you can. That helps the channel the most. Shy was about to say something, right?
Yeah. Have you seen that? First of all, have you seen that OJ documentary? That shit was so diabolical. The nigga had gloves under the gloves he tried on, bro. Have you seen the documentary, Help?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know how it go in the court. If you ain't trying.
Shit. So I'm thinking about the topic again: Sharpen or Shane, right? The reason why I lean more to Shane because I'm thinking about the effectiveness of what's happening. I work in project management, so you always trying to figure out, what your risks are. You're trying to figure out the best route to get to your goal, right? So it often feels to me like people grab bazookas instead of getting sniper rifles, right? So like I always get curious when I see like married guys who have found the woman that's so-called like the diamond in the rough, and they never talk about her as much as they chime in on what all the women on the outside are doing. And I'm always thinking, well, shit, bro, you the one that you broke the code. But then what's interesting is some of the same guys in the Manosphere will tell the nigga that's married to shut up. He ain't been outside. He been in the house too long. He don't know what's going on. So I laugh when they get mad at people like me who say balance, but the so-called dudes are on their side when they actually speak out against and say this is what's going on. Like it happens to our pain all the time. Shut up, old nigga. You've been in the house for 40 years.
Yeah.
But he got a 40-year marriage, fool. Like, what are you talking about?
Yo,
and that's why I say the lack of clarity to him, because I don't know what the actual goal is.
Yo, that shit happened to me before. And I'm not as old as Mr. Payne.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you got to catch yourself. I'm like, y'all niggas talking to me?
Nigga, you old. Take your own washed ass in the house. They really.
How many women I seen naked? Are you shitting me? Me? Nigga, you talk. You be like I can't even believe. Like I gotta shut up.
Shit.
I got what I'm saying? Like but my bad. I'm
asking the married guys here. Have although the landscape has changed, have the values that are necessary to maintain a long-term commitment, have those changed? Because if they have it, I'm trying to understand why Trigger Mike ain't talking shit to them instead of getting on me edifying people about statistics. Why you not talking to them when they tell you you've been in the house too long?
So there's two parts to that. So you said it, you kind of glanced on it, like it is anybody's guess how a dude, like I said, credibility will end up defending himself on a panel about relationships.
Mm-hmm.
That's how twisted the space is. And I think that's like a microcosm of a bigger issue going on. For me to talk about the success in my relationship, I got to tell niggas what they did wrong. Men or women ain't trying to hear that shit. And the reason why it's actually so bad, especially for the women, because many of them it's too late. It might be too late to change that shit around, right? So if you telling them and it makes them feel that, right? So that's why they be like, man, fuck what you talking about, man? Because the feeling that I'm telling is like the dudes that they want might want a younger woman. They might have missed their chances. I'm actually giving them a picture of what they passed up and the mistakes that they made. Because if I tell you how to get into a relationship, that you're supposed to submit, that you're supposed to be marriage-minded, that you need to lean into your husband and trust, some people, male or female, may already fuck that up. So what it does is it brings all the insecurities about them not doing something right. And unfortunately, rather than own up to it, we have a serious problem with accountability. Rather than say, you know what? I messed that up. I gotta do better. They'll lash out. You don't know what the fuck you talking about. Everybody ain't the same. Everybody ain't gotta be married. We got chicks that'll literally be on a show saying they want to be married on Wednesday, then on Thursday being like, everybody ain't gotta be married. Fuck y'all talking about. So that's how we bring out insecurities in people. That's why, unfortunately, too many married dudes, to protect our own peace, we don't talk about our wife at all. You see what I'm saying? As soon as we start talking about, oh, this, that, she fat probably. You know what I mean? Shit like that. So that's unfortunate.
I agree with you, Mike, but isn't they kind of in a way taking the easy route out? Because it's easy for us to come here and pile up on the women, because that's what we all agree. As men, married, single, it's easy for us to do that. But when because you're an outlier for all of us, when you step in and frame and say, well, hey, this how you can figure it out. This how I found my woman, my wife that I've been with for 20. That's a harder route, but it seems like we're taking the easier route, which is that's all just pile on the women, because you won't get that much pushback if you do that, versus bringing your wife to the forefront and say, hey guys, I know what's happening outside, but this is what I was able to achieve. Here's how you can too if you want the same goals.
Sean, the weapon, and you got it, August, I promise. The weaponization is kind of crazy, right? I did a few shows with my wife and all that, right? And so they think she's supposed to be answering like on some nun shit or something, right? And she answer questions how women answer questions.
Right. I remember that. Yeah.
Roundabout, ducking and dodging, some this, that. You know what I mean? Why you can't work and help with the kids and make all the money and let me shit, like all of the shit, right? They're like, see? Now, mind you, right? She a fucking Hebrew Israelite. You know how hard that is? Right? You know how much shit she can't do that she right? But submission, like, you know what I mean? It gotta look up one particular way. And God forbid that HAMP deal with it. See, I told y'all niggas. You know what I'm saying? You know? And yeah, so I've seen it. But it's fine though. You have to do it right. You know what I'm saying? You know, you have, like, to your point, you know, you have to bring a lens to things, you know, about the actuals. You know what I'm saying?
I think what you did in that video and showing that, it was the most genuine thing that you can do for the space, right? Because people look at you, and me too, we look at you like, yeah, ain't nobody saying nothing to him because him got that respect, right? So when we see it and we like, yeah, that's how you remember what I said to you, I was like, I'd be saying the same shit, bro. The same thing the same way. So it makes it more like, okay, now can we deal with that? Or, you know what I'm saying? What you thinking? Like, can men deal with that type of thing? Not saying that she did anything bad, but it was like that type of thinking.
Yeah, 100%. And there's always subtle shit, UT, right? Right. So you had it back and forth. Now, if I change my diction, tone, pace, right, she can kind of catch on to it. You know, like one time she was drinking her little wine, and these motherfuckers get drunk off of nothing, right? So I could see it when she started to, you know what I mean? I'm like, I said it in the video. If you go watch it, I say, all right, slow down. And she's like, oh, okay. Right? Because, you know, you gotta, you know what I'm saying? You know, like she told the ladies, y'all need to go get some dick. I said, see, now you don't see. You just fucking, you know what I mean?
And that's what, I don't get, you know me, I get into it. I get into it about it because I don't care, because I know how, I come to reality to know that the relationships don't go how people think they go all the time. And I ain't gonna get on here and be like, my wife just listen to everything I say. Hell no, she don't. Then let's be honest, she don't. We fuss all the time about shit. But if we can get back to that, husband, let me. I was kind of out of that, or I got to say the same thing. You know, we got to. I was a little too mean about that. You know.
Yeah. Shaw, let me just respond real quick because I gotta get.
Mike don't care what we was talking about. You see that?
No, I'm responding to Shaw. It's important.
No, I know me.
I agree. I'm feeling I agree.
He laughing and shit, and he.
I promise you, if we really look at it, in the next few years, we're gonna see a decrease in what you're saying. The men are actually gonna stop.
Akata. What is this Akata shit?
Like American?
Oh shit. cotton picker.
Tell us how you really feel, Mike.
This nigga here.
Tell us how you really feel, Mike.
This nigga here. All right. But for real. The complaining is gonna stop. I think a lot of it was frustration, and men had to defend themselves now that they had the platform to do so. So I do think it's gonna be decreased because what it did was bring light to what we don't like, right? And that was out in the forefront. And the reason I'm saying that is because I cannot open my Instagram. Now the women are expressing their distaste for women's own behavior. They were the ones that were supposed to be doing all this talking in the first place. We can talk about, this was a perfect conversation tonight. We can talk about men shit and exclude them if our wives go talk to these women. You see what I'm saying? So, and then I realized it's a game. It's all a game. Let me tell you why. Y'all know who a Dr. Sarah Fontenot is? Chick on like Instagram, light skin joints. Slim. She's such like a, what they would call a pick me, but then I go to like the comments and they don't be bashing her. And my wife was watching it once and she was like, wow, I think don't women hate when women talk like this? I looked over and was like, nah, she found it in all of them, bitch. She found it in all of them. They ain't gonna say shit. You see what I'm saying? So now a woman that's prettier than all of y'all is like, y'all got a problem and y'all need to tighten up. I was like, this is the beginning. This is the beginning of all. There's a lot of power in exile. If the women that got the goods, they got the look. Now you see Shaq want to do an interview with this woman. Cam want to do. You know why they're bringing her on the show? They trying to get between. You see what I'm saying? So they're like, all the dudes are really rocking with women that talk like this. They all gonna want to be like that, bro. So really, it's just natural. We express the distaste. The women, our wives and the women, they start to say, we messing up. Now we can just sit back and watch it all happen. Because the cool thing to be in a few years is going to be somebody's wife. Yep. Right. So I just want to say that. Yeah. I see the change happening.
You can see it.
Yep. It's gradual. Yep.
Yeah. Yo, and always in that. Just real quick.
I gotta go to sleep because I gotta get up early in the morning, man. I appreciate y'all, man. Hey, Sean, we still cool, Sean. We just got our little spat, bro.
Yo, man, who you got?
I gotta get up out of here.
You want me to talk to them crackers for you?
You ain't gonna be able to say no. I gotta still get paid, bro. So, unless you're gonna move one of your moving companies down here so I can run it, then yeah. But
Houston got a lot of space, right? Houston got a lot of space, bro. But now, real shit though. The Shaw, like when I had my wife up there, when she said that line, she was saying that women who are acting like they don't want a man and don't want to be married, they coping, they capping when they say that shit, and they they have female conversations. She like, girl, you need a release. You actually want a nigga. Stop acting like you don't. You know what I'm saying? But my wife is pretty like petite, so they can't be like, oh, you fat, like that don't work. You know what I'm saying? So she got like a aesthetic that you can't just attack the aesthetic. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, to his point, 'cause I'm just thinking about Fontenot, and Fontenot is fly, but it hit different when she's saying this shit. Like I've definitely seen it, for sure. Go ahead, August, my bad.
No, I kind of forgot the point. I wanted to ask Shot a little earlier. What do you expect that the Manosphere, and I'm not, defending it or not, but do you expect them to all be on one singular message? Because a lot of times, and this is just for me to understand, a lot of times it seems like your gripe is that you hear different messages from different areas that say different things in a Manosphere. So are you expecting it to be one unified message?
Not necessarily, but to go back to the point, we're criticizing women's behavior, right? Once we rectify the behavior, what are we rectifying it for? If one side of the Manosphere is telling women, not telling women, but saying we have no desire to be married, marriage is a bad deal. You have another side saying we want to be married. We're looking for Chaz wives. You see what I'm saying? Like it's not a lot of clarity.
So I'm like, you didn't really answer. So you're saying no, you're not expecting it to be one unified message, or you are expecting it to be one unified message? What is it?
I don't know if I'm expecting it to be one unified message. I guess I am saying, like, for those who consider themselves Manosphere, are you vetting who's spreading the message? Because I think that is the effectiveness of the message when it gets out.
Do you think that there's like one?
I don't think the message is. It's kind of impossible for the message to be the same amongst all content creators.
When you say that you're expecting somebody to police other people, so like, how does that look? Do you think that there's like one supreme leader of the manosphere that dictates who can say what or which one is credible and which one isn't? Like, what do you expect here? Because I'm still trying to understand your premise of it, and I'm not trying to be whatever about it.
For sure. I hate your word choices sometimes, like policing and things like that, because, bro.
My bad.
No, you good, because it's still being built. And as a man who's in the world just like y'all, we all having a conversation about how we can make this plane the safest, most efficient plane in the air. So it's not about like, because if at the beginning of the episode, you was kind of saying we want to stop shit. And it's that's not what's happening, bro.
That's what I'm trying to understand.
Yeah, I'm listening to what's happening on the internet. I'm also interacting with people in the world, getting their feedback on things, and what I'm hearing is the message can still be tailored better. That's just kind of what it is. It's not a one lane that I'm looking for. It's just kind of a continued assessment of what's been had. Because like I said, in one day I could be listening to a nigga just saying women are hoes, right? But then in that same episode, it'll be a guy like you talking about we need women to be more this so they can be prepared for marriage. Those two things in my mind don't seem like they go in the same space, but they do.
Okay, so what do you expect to happen there? Like, what would you expect men to do in that situation when you have those two polar opposite messages? Like, because that's kind of been what your gripe has been the whole time, where it's like there's no unified message. I'm trying to get a better understanding. That's why I'm asking these questions. I haven't really been able to nail down what you're trying to say.
Because I still don't know what the goal is. I don't think you've been. What is the goal?
The goal is to improve the black community. That's the goal. That's always the nuclear family is the goal. A lot of times men are griping about the fact that there's not a lot of marriageable women to pick from. And so what they say is that marriage, as women stand today, as this model woman is today, is a bad option. You shouldn't. It would behoove you not to do this, because if you look at the marriage statistics, it's down, especially in the black community. So we can look at that information. We can look at those stats and say, hey, it's probably in your best interest to abstain from marriage as modern women are today until they make the change. And so then when you complain about the change, like y'all are still doing this, y'all are still acting a fool, y'all still not submissive. It's like, well, you already told them that, move on with the message. And it's like, well, they have to make the correction first, where we don't have to say this message anymore, and then we can get back to marriage. But they have to come correct first.
Okay, so like, for example, all women are hoes. How does that go in line with your goal?
That's hyperbolic. And that's
what I'm saying. So again, it's not like.
But you gotta know for yourself what information is not viable and what information is viable.
I know.
So the average person is gonna know that too. But there's a level. There's never gonna be perfection.
We in two different spaces. What I see is
they have to develop. They have to develop their own discretion. So we can't be responsible for your discretion. We can't say, hey, we got to get every man on board, making sure that they say the exact right message, because there are going to be some outliers out there that's going to hear this message and take it into consideration. There's a litmus of people saying different things. And so they're going to attract to whatever appeals to them mostly. If you are looking to be a marriage-minded man and you want to know how to do it, you're going to listen to a man that's marriage-minded. That's what's going to appeal to you. That's how it works. But you can't expect, the message to be one clear and concise message. It's just not how things go. The spirit is the goal, and I'm gonna stop right here. I don't want to keep being long-winded. The goal is to argue these arguments down amongst ourselves to come to a viable solution, and that's what it looks like.
So I can disagree to disagree, August. I think our mindsets on problem solving just different. I've been a part of prevention work. Mm-hmm. I'll also have a master's degree in public health, and I went to a community-based program. And one of the first things we talked about in our program, bro, is what's called like a windshield survey. So you go into the community, to figure out what the problems are. You don't go in telling them what's wrong. You have to figure out what people's desires are, what are the problems are. So that's how I kind of look at things. But I understand on YouTube, it's not the same arena. We just have a different approach to problem. That's all.
That's an academic approach, but the thing about it is that
it works in any arena though, bro. It ain't just academic.
Well, I'm gonna say like
project
this.
management approach.
I understand.
That's a PMP license.
I got it. Super. What happens is that we don't have. I come from the community, so I know what the issue is. I'm very intimate with the issues, and most of these niggas are too. We come from this shit. We came from the the same foundation. So we don't need to have an approach where we got to figure out what the problem is. We already know what the fucking problem is. We've been knowing. All of us know, you know what I'm saying? But most of us know. You know what I mean? So I understand why you would say that approach would be that approach, but that doesn't really qualify here because you're dealing with a community of people that have been dealing with different oppressions and different stresses that has molded us into where we are today. And now we have to do a U-turn and come back into prominence. You know what I mean? So it just seemed like, you know, the message is kind of getting low.
My only rebuttal would be, I know because you're a content creator, you may think, you know, you might have a reach, but I'm still a human in the world too. They interact with people. I got younger family members. So I get it. You make YouTube content. You feel like what you do is, I guess, because you have a larger reach, it's like it's not more important, but you think you got a better grasp over fixing a problem than I do because you got a YouTube page. But
that's not why.
Even let him kind of be privy to some of the conversations I had with family members and doing the work to get better. So I get it. We both got the same goals. So we can disagree, bro.
That's not why.
Disagree.
Well, no, that's not why. I'm a married man who's been married this entire time and have a family. I'm raising sons. I've been married. You know what I'm saying? So everything I'm speaking on is based off of my life. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not saying nothing that is my mama. A lot of people, they do the son husband thing. I don't do that. My mama listen to me. She take instruction from me. She understands that to revere my words. I live like that. I run my show. It ain't no partnership. She's my wife. I'm first. I make all the decisions. I'm a married man. So that's the premise I'm coming from. It ain't had nothing to do with YouTube. I've been doing this for a long time.
For sure.
So there's if there's no homogeneity in the message, how can you say there's a understanding world base wide on the problem? Because if you just said you all have the same viewpoint that we know what the problem is, why is there not a unified message? Would be the question. But that's rhetorical. Yeah, I don't want to answer. Really, I don't. Yeah, I don't, because I'm good on that. I'm just saying, just parsing together with just some of the thoughts that Shad is asking, you're stating. That would just be one of the questions. This conversations, or a lot of these conversations, we don't have the same problems, is what I'm realizing. Like, and I'll realize that very early on, right? Just from being raised by a father and having some of my own morals and like my own things. Some of the issues y'all are dealing with, while the results may look similar, the outcome may look similar, the way we got there is very different, right? So that's what I'm realizing, Shad. I think that everyone has their own individual issues, and we're not unified in them. And because the issues that some people have, they're participating actively. So it makes them having the issue very confusing. Like, you have an issue with this thing that you're participating in? Yes. Yeah. And it's like, wait a minute, you, the participator, have the issue as the participant with the things that you're seeing. I'm not participating. We have two totally different issues. Yeah. And although the results look the same and the outcome may be, well, you're dealing with the same. Okay, but while I may be quote unquote dealing with the same thing, I'm not actively participating, which makes the problem itself totally different, right? Just because 2 + 2 = 4, right? I can find an algebraic equation or even rocket science to find the answer, and the answer is still 2. But the complication behind that math problem is exponentially difficult because of what is going on, right? And that's what I'm starting to realize. We don't have the same problems. We have similar outcomes, but we do not have the same problems. We are not the same people. We don't live our lives according to the same traditions, standards, morals. Nothing about a lot of us are very similar is what I'm realizing. So some of these problems that I may be facing, and people will go, oh, look at him, he's facing problems too. We are not the same at all. And it's not even one is better than the other. I'm just saying we're different. So yeah, we don't have the same problems. We have totally different problems.
For sure.
I mean, there's a general premise of what the problem is. That's all. And I think that for the most part, of course, there's going to be nuance to it. Whereas it may be something about you that's attracting the situation that you're getting, which is nuance to you. But in a general aspect of things, which is supported back by data, if you look at the marriage rates, we can come up with one general consensus of a problem, and then how we handle that problem That's where the nuance come into play at. And then also, what could you be doing for this problem to be happening to you specifically? Maybe a guy is not exhibiting good moral character, so of course he's not gonna find a great woman. That happens too. But the general consensus, we can safely say that.
So I sure, by all means, and some of the consensus that I've got from just looking up statistically, infidelity is a reason why a lot of people get divorced. So is that a man thing or a woman thing? If women divorce more and some of the top reasons are infidelity, what do we do with that? There was a nuance behind that stat or behind that claim.
I don't think that that's that stat is real. I don't think that stat is true. I think
so. It's just like, okay. I'm not saying you're wrong.
What I'm saying is the stat I think is what is it? No contest or no fault. No fault
divorce. Right.
Yeah. So it's not infidelity. So no fault means that it's not being specified as anything. So the stat you just listed is just totally wrong.
You were looking for irreconcilable differences, not no fault. That's what you're thinking of.
Either way,
yeah, okay, yeah.
Either way it goes.
Irreconcilable distance.
Even with that being the case, they still have rankings of some of the top cases. So it doesn't negate what I'm saying. And some of the top reasons, whether while irreconcilable differences may be the number one, guess what's in the top 5?
A component of irreconcilable differences is what Cheeky just said. It's just irreconcilable differences is a blanket statement.
It's a blanket statement.
So let me just understand what your argument is. Your argument is that are we talking about the black community or are we talking about in general?
My point.
I'm asking a question. I need an answer to it. Are we talking about the black community or are we talking about in general?
In general, bro.
General. Okay, so we're talking about every demographic. All right.
What is the point of that? Okay. Yeah.
Well, because divorce is astronomically higher in the black community than it is in just the regular demographic, like overall.
Okay, niggas cheat. Maybe they cheat more.
So I'm asking you the question. I'm asking you a question. So are you saying that the reason for divorce mostly is because men cheat on their wives? Is what you're saying?
I don't know. I can't say mostly because I don't have any fact about that. The only thing I'm asking for is
why did you introduce that?
Because you introduced the idea of nuance. But the thing about nuance is it applies and should apply to things that work outside of Manosphere or Red Pill talking points, but they don't.
You said, but the nuance you said was that most
I didn't say most.
Okay, so why are we talking
about most?
Why are we talking about marriages that?
Because I'm talking about the nuance of divorce and how typically, especially going back to Shaw's
point. Why wouldn't we talk about the majority? Why are we talking about something that's insignificant?
You can't say it's insignificant when you don't have a statistical fact about that either.
The statistical fact is that
it's in the top 3 to top 5. Wait. Here's the thing. That the statistical fact is it's one of the top reasons for cause of divorce. How many divorces we don't know.
So is it more or less? Is it more or less? Because if
I don't know, how can I answer that?
Then why are you introducing it if you don't know?
Because I know for a fact. Statistically speaking, it's the top reason.
So you don't even know what you're talking about. So you can't introduce data.
No. You don't know what you're asking. You're asking for a nominal thing. You're asking, is it 4 more or 5 more? And I am telling you, I can't give you the answer to that because they don't give you the answer to that. But what I can tell you is, in the nuance of divorce, 100% of divorce, and within those top 5 reasons, infidelity is there. How much? How do you account for that? I'm asking you to be nuanced in your take about that, and you're asking me to give you a number that they don't even give.
You're asking me to be nuanced in the take, so I'm being nuanced in the take. That's why I'm asking you the nuance of the number.
You're asking for an objective measurement, which is how much nuance. That's not nuanced. That's not nuanced, especially if I can't give it to you because it's not measured. How?
So are we talking about infidelity on men's part, or is it on women's part as well?
Okay, I'm on. Did I say? I didn't say it was a man or woman thing. I said
that's what I'm asking. I'm trying to get. I'm trying to qualify what
I asked you. I asked you that question.
I asked you that right now.
Okay, and that was my question to you. Is it a man or woman thing? Is infidelity a man or woman thing? That was my.
Know. You introduced infidelity, bruh. So I'm trying to ask you. I'm trying to get a better understanding of the data that you introduced. You introduced
the
this
reason.
stat.
The
Listen.
I'm
You
listening. Go ahead.
You introduced this stat, bro. I'm asking you the
Uh-huh.
nuance and more about the stat that you've introduced.
We have 30
And you're
niggas.
telling me you don't know anything about it. That's ridiculous.
No, it's not ridiculous.
Okay.
The only thing I presented to you was infidelity is one of the top reasons for divorce.
Okay, is it a lot? Is it more or less than? Is it most
Now,
of the
see,
divorce or not?
Wait,
I'm asking you that.
say what are you asking?
Is infidelity
Uh-huh.
the most reason for divorce or not? Like, is it like 51%?
Is it number one or is it not?
Is it 51% or more the reason for divorce?
And if I tell you they don't give you a number to that, what do you want me to do?
That means that you're introducing a statistic that you are not aware of. And so when I ask you the nuance of your stat, you can't give me anything outside of it's just
It's a top reason.
You can't tell me if it's a man or a woman that's doing the infidelity more so or not. You can't tell me is it the most reason. You can't tell me anything about the stat except that it is a reason that people get divorced. That's ridiculous.
Okay, my point of that's not ridiculous. It's just
It is.
It's
It's very
it is what.
ridiculous.
No, it's not. The point of that is asking you when we start talking about divorce and we start talking about things like that. Are we including the reasons for divorce? Or are we just saying it's happening for no reason?
What do you mean? You say that again? You said, are we including the reasons for divorce, or we're saying that it's happening for no reason? We're saying that divorces are initiated mostly by women for
Why?
whatever reason.
Okay.
Okay.
Wait. Hold on. Wait. Now, so now we're going to talk about ridiculousness. Why?
It's a merit of reasons, but it doesn't matter. The fact of the matter is that,
do you see how? Okay. Listen,
you
wait. Hold on. Listen to what you just did. You just said what I just did was ridiculous. So I ask you, and I will flip it. This is why I asked the question to bring the nuance. I flip it. Most women get divorced. Okay, why, August? I don't know. There's a myriad of reasons. Well, what are those reasons? It doesn't matter. And you're telling me that I'm being ridiculous by going, hey, at least I've looked these things up, and there's so many different reasons. You know what keeps coming up is cheating. It doesn't say for man or for woman. But if we keep saying that women are divorcing and men divorce too, what do you think those reasons are? And if the only thing you're telling me is I don't know and it doesn't matter because it's not supposed to happen, who's really being ridiculous and who's not being nuanced?
I asked you specifics about your stat that you mentioned, and you couldn't give me any answers of it. So you can't use a statistic that you can't qualify. I've asked you for qualifying questions, and you have.
Okay, so how about this? Okay, all right. August. Wait. August, I'm willing to do this. Listen to me. I'm willing to do this.
No. Let me say this. Here's the thing. Here's the thing, right? Here's the thing. You can say that the reason for divorce is because of infidelity. It's because of cheating or whatever you want to call it, right?
Okay.
Now, women are the ones that are unilaterally causing divorce. What if in that stat that you don't know of in the nuance, women are doing more of the cheating and filing for divorce at the same time simultaneously? What if that's the case of the matter? Okay, but we can't qualify that because you don't know if it's men or women that's doing most of the cheating. But what we do know is that it's mostly women that are filing for divorce.
So I will say this: they have done the stat, which was a stat that came up earlier, that men do cheat more than women by some percentage higher.
Married men. Or men in general?
Cheating is cheating. Look, I don't know if it was. I can't recall the study off the top of my head. But what I will say is this: if you're telling me I can't quote any statistics because I don't know,
do anything.
Hold on, okay. Let me. If you're saying that it's ridiculous for me to quote any statistics because I don't know the specific numbers of a particular thing, but for every study that's been shown, infidelity is ranked as a very high reason for divorce. How can you ask the question or not ask the question? How do you not think it's ridiculous to say that women are just divorcing for no reason or it doesn't matter the reason? Do you think that's ridiculous?
Do I think what's ridiculous? That women are divorcing for no reason or it doesn't
matter?
Do you
think no. Do you think it's ridiculous for you to say something is happening and not having reason as to why it's happening?
I asked you the reason why it was happening.
No. Why are you trying to stop?
I asked you the reason.
Stop,
you don't
stop.
even know.
Stop. We're going to go back to this.
Okay.
I'm going to ask you one more time. is it ridiculous for you to say this is happening, but you don't have a reason or a why to it?
I didn't say. What are you asking me again? Say
why are women divorcing? What was your answer to that?
I don't know.
And you also said it doesn't matter. Correct?
It don't matter. Yeah.
Is that ridiculous?
No.
Thank you. That's all I need to do. Come on, bro. If you don't see that as ridiculous, then nothing I did or said you can qualify as ridiculous at all, because it starts with you. You want to know what stat I knew before anything? Is that women divorce 70% more than men. You want to know what else I didn't know? Why? And guess who? And guess what? Guess who covered why? Nobody. Not even you. Not on your own time. Not on your YouTube channel. Not on nobody else's channel. Nobody at the minimal did a Google research as to why. And I have. And the only thing I've said is, hey, you know what? No matter where you go, no matter how many times you see this, somewhere in there is infidelity. How do we handle that? It doesn't say man or woman. What conversation can we have about infidelity? Not it being a man or woman thing, but us not trusting one another or us doing shady things. You want to make it into something else. I started off the stat by saying infidelity keep coming up. What? That's not a man or woman thing. Where's the nuance in this conversation about divorce?
Do you think a woman should divorce a man for infidelity?
I know that.
Yes, but do you see what's going on? Stop doing this thing where y'all keep saying.
I don't think a woman should divorce a man for infidelity.
Stop doing this thing where y'all start going. Y'all keep bringing up the men and women conversation when I'm just bringing up a human conversation about infidelity. And the first thing you keep doing is, do you think a woman should break up because of infidelity? Yes,
but here's
I don't think so.
So here's what's happening, right? Yeah, so we actually looked into the different reasons, right? And one thing I've always said was Big Chug don't never tell on nobody because he's always the one doing something. He don't never come to me and say, Daddy, he always the one hitting, he just rough. You know what I'm saying? So when I look at the women initiating, is that analogy applicable? Right? And now it's speculative, of course, right? And so I think August's point in is speculative about all the reasons what happens, right? Now, I wouldn't make it a human thing, Cheeky, in terms of infidelity, right? Because we see that infidelity rates are similar, but men cheat more.
Okay.
So if you make it male-centric in terms of, let's say, infidelity be one of the primary reasons, you can have a substantive conversation about conduct. When you put it on everybody, I think now, right now, people just land on. I'm just saying when I'm listening to you.
No, Ham, we're on the same page. Ham, we're told. Yeah. I agree with you. But I only did that to show that there is no nuance. And whenever we start trying to have these nuanced conversation, because of the not male, but because of the person's brain and their bias, they're going to take it to wherever. It's the same thing that just happened with Shad. Shad didn't say that men are pandered to less than women. He didn't say they're pandered to more. He said men are being pandered to, and he's just trying to be as balanced as he can. What happens is the audience and the people that you're on the panel with, their bias shows where it's going to go. I didn't mention who cheated. I didn't even say why they cheated. The only thing I said was, cheating is in that reason. How do you deal with this statistic of 70% of divorce more? How do you factor that in? And the simple answer is you don't care, and it doesn't matter.
Yeah, because August is looking at the end result of them filing, and then people disagree on why people should divorce in the first place. And the fact that people are generally getting married under the eyes of the Most High, and it only says that you can divorce for adultery. Now people question all other reasons and why which people divorce, so it's nuanced, but at the very to the point, we talking about the factors. August saying under the guise of the Most High, unless it's adultery, what you divorcing for. So if they choose to take that route, the end result is the end result. You see, so it's not illogical, right? Because it aligns with something substantive.
It is illogical.
All that, but I'm just
he didn't say all that. No, he didn't. So no, he didn't articulate.
Yeah, I didn't have a chance, but I told you that I said to you that I don't. I said that I don't think that a man cheating is a reason for a woman to get divorced. I didn't get a chance to even to substantiate why I said that because you kept going. Also, the thing about it is that I didn't come into a ideological point. I qualified what it was that you were saying to get a better understanding of where you were, so that if I have to change my mind, I can. But you couldn't qualify none of your stats. You're just saying this is the stats. So what do you think about it? And it's like, bro, well,
August,
is it men, women? Is it black people? What is it? So I can get a better understanding or grasp of what it is that you're saying.
August,
you're trying to hold on. You're trying to jump to a point
that's so
to try and make it seem like I have one focal idea of what it is that I think when I'm asking you qualifying questions. I'm trying to understand.
No. The reason,
you have no answers.
No. Because even if I gave you an answer, that wouldn't change your mindset of it doesn't matter.
It's going to do. How you gonna know what?
Because you stated it when you said these words. It don't matter. I don't care.
That's not what I said. I didn't say I didn't care. You
said.
Said
I'm sorry. Hold on. What you said was I don't know. You're right. You didn't say. Hold on. You said I don't know. And it doesn't matter. So if you say you don't know and you don't care to know, or and it doesn't matter, and it not mattering shows a level of care that is not there, which means you don't care. That's all implied in that sentence, and it's all represented in your mindset, and a lot of men's mindset toward a lot of these conversations. That's the issue. So don't try to make it seem as if there was an actual chance. Don't make it try to seem as if there was. Don't let me finish.
So
do not make it seem like. Stop. Don't do this, because this is exactly what happens. This is exactly what happens whenever you start talking to people, especially in politics as well. Whenever you present information or any stat, the first thing you're going to do is, well, where did that come from? I can get it from a million different places. I can get it from the government.org, and you would still go, well, you know what? It doesn't matter because she's not supposed to divorce her husband because that's what God
said.
What
I'm going to do?
Because you already said it.
What I'm saying to you is this.
Because you already said it. I asked you why. Hold on. I asked you why, and what did you say?
What I asked you to qualify.
So and even if I would have, okay, I'll qualify. I'm gonna find it right now. I'll qualify it, and then what?
So we have the discussion. We take
about
step by step about the qualified information. You said that.
Okay, and then so I'll give you the qualifier. And
if I have to go, that here's the thing, right? You're having a debate. You're having an argument, a debate. You're doing a whole what's that boy name that you like? What's that white boy you think is a
Destiny?
Great debater? You were doing a whole Destiny thing. I'm trying to have a conversation with you. I'm trying to get an understanding of what it is that you're saying. I'm asking you qualified questions so that I can have a better understanding, so that we can take the conversation further. But we can't do that because you can't even qualify your stats. And so what I say to that is that I can't say, because we don't even know if it's mostly men or women, that it matters, because
it's mostly men. It's mostly men. It's mostly men that cheat. It's mostly men that cheat.
Then it shouldn't matter.
It's mostly men that cheat.
Then it shouldn't matter.
All right, guys. Let me.
Then it shouldn't matter. Come on, bro.
Y'all. It's not like. Here's simply put, right? We speculate as to why people cheat, or why people divorce, right? The initiating is not an admission of guilt, right? That's the crux of the argument, right? August is saying you shouldn't be divorcing. The reasons of which they're divorcing aren't good reasons. So if you are initiating because of finance or whatever the case, when you said till death do us part, you wrong automatically. You see that all I'm saying is those are the 2 points. Hold on. I'm just saying that those are the 2 points that are being argued. Now, Cheek, one thing, and you can comment on this, and then we'll do some final thoughts, because we old. Y'all niggas is young.
No, yeah, I'm going to bed.
I had to text Sean 3 times for him to wake up. Then Sean had to text him. Then he had to create a group chat so we could text him at the same time. So, damn, now I'm too busy joking. Lost my fucking train of thought.
Yeah.
What the fuck was I saying? Oh, now the one thing you said that I disagree with, or maybe you can clarify, is he don't care why they doing it, the fact that they doing it. Or he said it doesn't matter. It's just that it's happening. Right? And you said that means he don't care. Right? Did you say that? Did I hear that right? Because he said it does. The reason
it's implied. I said it's implied. Yes.
Yeah, and so I disagree with that simply because if I'm disciplining my kids for certain things, I don't give a fuck why you made that decision. Don't make that decision, and I definitely care. You know what I'm saying? My daughter can't say, That I came home at 10:30 because you don't got no flat tire. You don't got nothing. I don't give a fuck.
Okay, so
why are you home later than you should be? You see, but I care like a motherfucker though.
Okay, no. You care that she's home. You do not care about the process of her getting home at a particular time.
And why she was late. I don't give a fuck.
Exactly. You don't give a fuck. Neither does August or any man that talks about divorce. They don't care. They don't care about the process of a man or a woman, whichever one it is. Well, mainly women, because they if a man divorced, they all automatically assume he's in the right. And if a woman divorced, they automatically assume she's in the wrong. That's the assumption. Because every time we start having these conversations about women divorcing and doing it at a 70% click, they're going, she's wrong. But if a man does it, the first thing they think is men don't typically leave situations unless it's just like bad. That's the assumption. But no one has any real standard or not any real understanding of it because nobody knows the nuance of the conversation. That's the point that I'm pointing out. Nobody knows and nobody cares. At least the bare minimum of what you can do is go, I need to hear the story or understand why before I make a determination she's in the wrong or he's in the wrong. We don't do that because we're biased. So what we need to start doing in order to have a better conversation or a real conversation is acknowledging the bias and going, you know what? I don't know why she got divorced, so I can't really claim it. But if I talk with her and I find something out, now I can be on her head top. The assumption is she did it just because she wasn't happy or she found another nigga or another nigga was richer than him. And that's why, or a bigger dick or better look. We don't know. And that's what I'm starting to find out when I'm looking at these statistics. They don't have an answer as to why all of these women or men are getting divorced. They just give the conclusion of it, which, and I'm being nuanced enough to say, I don't know. That is not what's happening around here.
You can't put the initiation thing, and that's the person that's implicated in doing something wrong.
Exactly, and that's the
majority are irreconcilable differences, right? So now that is literally they ain't telling you anything.
Exactly. So
irreconcilable differences, right? And I think people understand what I just want to say it. Can include finances, can include infidelity, and so now you really can't get clarity. You know, but it's easier to implicate the person who did the paperwork, right? And we know about that shit too. I can make it to the doctor, right? But my wife scheduled appointments and sign everybody up and all that. A lot of shit defaults. Like how you do anything is how you do everything. Niggas say, bitch, get the paperwork, I'll sign it, right? Bitch, get the paperwork. So now she initiated it, right? So now you see, so it is interesting, but it's going to be very highly speculative.
And we are on the same page, Hamp. The only thing that I am pointing out is let's try to control. And he is so laser focused. It's so I appreciate it.
I'm not laser focused. I'm just saying
it's only a certain amount of cults that I really know about. This is a new one and it's interesting. So what I'm gonna say is this, Hamp. The issue that I'm having, right, is we're having these conversations and they're repeated and old, not because of you or anything in particular. We just heard these things before. The thing that I appreciate about you is you're trying to have some level of nuance. All right. The only thing I'm challenging August and other people to do is, hey, listen to what you're saying. You're saying it doesn't matter and you don't care. And you have nothing else besides that. Hey, look, you're telling me women are these things or that things. What information are you going off of? And every single time you keep asking these people about their individual lives, it never applies. So it's odd. It's very odd. It's like it's confusing. It's confusing and it's baffling that all of this is happening and no one has any real account for it. I'm not saying it's not real because I've experienced it and I talk about it. I'll tell you what I go through. I don't hide nothing. I don't be like, I'm a super nigga. Every girl I run into and get on my program. No, nigga, that's the problem. I can't find one. Or I've tried to work one out and then I got to get rid of it. because goddamn, bro, I tried. You just fucking up. And I got to go. So yeah, that's all, man. Let's acknowledge our biases. Let's not be super. Oh, it don't matter. And even if a man cheats on you, you should divorce. You didn't do that for August. You a lame.
What, nigga? God damn. August, you want to say anything else?
Nah, man. I mean, I tried to get an understanding with him, but he want to argue. So I'm just trying to understand.
All that yelling, he gonna need a throat lozenge, man.
Whoa, don't ever mention my throat. Pause. Don't ever do that. Just leave me alone. All right. Just say I need to go to sleep.
Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend. Hit that like button right now if you can. That helps the channel the most. Let me read these real quick. Oh my, here you go. Black Dawn. Shy, you can't tell old niggas to shut up about marriage. Red Pill Warrior, you are above average. Women are not virgins. They are all hoes now.
Wow.
And have Instagram.
Wow.
You wouldn't make it out here like me, who only makes $50,000. Black Dawn with a 10,000. Red Pill Warrior also 50% of black women have. John Hayes. To the panel. Is it all your beliefs that her submission comes without question, or her submission, aka trust, has a price that you must qualify for? There's no wrong or right answer. Her just a reflection of your value system. I think the submission, if I were to answer really quickly, it has a baseline, right? I think how a man presents what you expect, the expectations you set, right? And how you don't waver. That submission can be seen much more clearly and it's agreed upon, but I think it starts with you standing on your square and remaining there regardless. I think people compromise in relationships, but be careful if you have to start acquiescing, right? And then you blur the lines of what she should or should not listen to or submit to. So if I was just answering quickly, but it's a good question. Black Dawn with the $5 says, Red Pill Warrior, women are evil. Daily with the $2 says, August versus the panel. This might be iffy. John Henry with the $5 says, nuance in problem solving will exist on both sides until a consensus of the facts is recognized. Sean with the $10 says, August, what is the goal? If we have so many content creators with different messages, whom do you want men and women to follow? There is no unity to move us forward in the near future. You want to apply this real quick?
You have to follow what appeals to you. You have to have some discernment on what information that you want to take in and follow that. The ones that are putting out bad information are fake. They're going to fall to the wayside. They're not going to continue to grow. And the ones that are putting out good information, you support them and they're going to continue to grow. That's how you handle that.
MC Heavy Tits, what's popping? Hello to the panel in the chat. Sean with the $5 says, August, if the cheating is with married men's wives, she can divorce? Only asking because you said cheating doesn't matter.
What I'm saying is that today's climate, relationships are so flimsy and transactional. But if you look back in the past, like your grandmother, grandparents, there was a lot of kids that was being had outside of the marriage, but they still stuck together. So I think that as far as marriage is concerned, it's better for married people to stay together versus being apart. That was the point of me saying that.
John Henry with the $5 says, God damn, August, let someone get an answer out before you ask another question, good brother.
I'll do better.
Indeed. Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend and tell a friend. Hit that like button right now if you can. It helps the channel the most. Shot, any final thoughts?
Perfect. Great show, man. You got me up past my bedtime, but anything for you, bro. So I appreciate the invite. Just for everybody watching, man, I understand we have different approaches to these problems. I think it's kind of corny for us to assume people have negative intent when they don't agree with us. My approach to these types of things is to ask more questions to kind of help you better understand why people have a certain value system they do. But I also understand everybody doesn't operate that way. So I'm going to be me. I'm not going to change based on y'all criticism, but I receive them and I accept them. But it probably won't move me up how I am. So we can just understand that. We just kind of move forward. And I think it'll be cool, but we'll continue building with different perspectives. But I think at the end of the day, we all want our community to be better. We just sometimes disagree on what's the best tactic. So I think that's just kind of where it is. And I'm cool with that. But again, appreciate your help. That's all I got.
Indeed. Strada.
Again, great conversation. Good back and forths. I think that practicality and application is the antidote. Like, we have to take these concepts, these ideals, wherever you stand on this thing, we have to make it practical and make it digestible to the people we're talking to, right? So at some point, it's got to come out of the concepts, and it's got to be something that is tangible, something that is attainable for us to get the true change. So we have to make these things tangible. These ideas will always be wrestled by the scholarly minds, right? We can do this all day long because we're all scholarly, we're all learned men. But let's be real. We're talking to people that aren't as learned or even care to have this conversation for 4 hours. So we got to find a way to get it to those that actually need it. And those people needed to be digestible, practical, and something they can attain.
Shit like that.
Cheek was goody.
Perfect.
That's a fact, though.
Man, August next.
Nigga,
I'm good.
Jesus. He's still before. He's still before.
You skipped him. I'm trying to look out for him.
Let that nigga talk first. That's what he said, August.
I know what he said.
Camera too. You heard him, right? You heard him,
I
right?
saw it. Yeah, I know what he doing.
Man, what you got?
It's all good, Chief. I still love you, dog. Now, I think that what's happening in real time, because progress is slow, but it's deliberate. I think what's happening in real time and through these conversations, us as men are ironing out our facts. Some things that we take away from here, some of us got to sit with, myself included, and maybe he's got to do a little work on us. But I think ultimately this is exactly what we need to be doing, and this is exactly where we need to be. Men having conversations and disagreements. So this is where it's supposed to be at. Appreciate you.
Indeed. Cheek was good though. You good?
No, I was good. Yeah, I ain't got shit to say.
Yo, man, I think the brothers did awesome job, man. The conversation was dynamic, you know. And you know, there were a couple back and forths that were unbecoming, but not egregiously so, right? We had a little bit off base, and those brothers instantly say, you know what, my bad. Maybe not instantly, but you know, in due time, right? Because it's just spirit, you know. And I want to make sure that when people need to be demonized. And like when people go too far in the conversation, start talking stupid, you know. But we're not going to do what white people do to us, right? Black man always aggressive and all these negative connotated word, right? The denotation is what I want to make sure that we focus on, right? And as much as possible, stay away from the foolishness. And I think we did a fine job, right? I have fun laughing. Somebody told me stop laughing so much in the chat. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, you know what I mean? You can't even frolic around these motherfuckers, you know? But it was fun. I think y'all did an amazing job, you know? I really like the thing that we were able to kind of expose was the what's your purpose thing. Because it's hyperbolic in a platitude. You know what I'm saying? So I'm glad we were kind of able to open up the door on that. Like, hey, stop saying that shit, bro. What it really look like when you putting in pain. And all pain put in should be acknowledged. You know? So yeah, man, cool, man. I had fun. You know, it's Toxic Thursday in the Discord. I think it already started. So, you know what I mean? It's Toxic Thursday. You've been warned. Join the Discord. That shit a bunch of fun. Love see back on her shit. Homeboy made his $1,000 goal for his business. You know what I'm saying? And so Love C got it on Monday at 7 p.m. I think. Don't kill me, Love C. We start on the next endeavor. Whoever got a plan, put that bread together, help them grow, you know, pace, process, and all that good shit, man. So love is love, man. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Be safe and do the right thing, man. Like, share, subscribe. Tell a friend to tell a friend. And we out.